rig in real quick and see how things fare. For those who are unfamiliar with both squads, welcome to CCS. This is where we're about to watch some more legends start to form their own stories. And if you're looking for a little bit more of a reason to root for GLOWUP, if you're Canadian, GLOWUP's got 3 Canadians on it as the only team that doesn't have majority Americans for this season of NACCS. So if you needed any more reason, there's one.
Of course, the band's coming in. Thatcher being first up. I mean, it's Oregon. Not much else to say about that. Thatcher is probably literally the most default ban on it. But now MONEYBALL can opt to ban maybe a hard breacher like Hibana or Ace. They can ban Capital. They can also take the Maverick away. And it will, in fact, be the Ace. Ace, very powerful. Even after his nerf, I really like his nerf because it really differentiates him from Thermite and Hibana, especially with the new Hibana changes coming too, just to kind of separate their roles even more. But Ace is less of a support operator and more of an entry who happens to have hard breach, especially with his kit and smokes and stuff like that. First defending man, probably going to be pretty standard too. Yep, it's the Wamai. Patch isn't out. He's still got his shield. He's still got 5 discs, and he is annoying to deal with, to say the least.
One more for the road on defense. Valk. Okay, not surprising either, but we're still leaving Kate on the board. We're still leaving... What else do we got? Still leaving Goyo on the board, but then again, a Goyo ban these days when you've got an Intel operator that you can still take out of play, still somewhat uncommon.
Mira
on the board as well, yep. Probably much Maestro. I was gonna say, we probably will see a lot more Maestro. Even with Mira on the board these days, still left up in contention, it's almost like some teams are still kind of reluctant to still want to take a Mira sometimes, but already GLOWUP about to prove me wrong because they've never mind. Rovi had it for a second and then just stopped. Maybe he'll switch back to it.
Maybe he'll 6 to it.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the 6th. Yeah, let's see. 1, 2, 3. Hey, I called it.
Because we see that a lot with people who like they want to play an op, but then their team is like, no, don't show it. So they'll go off the op onto a different one and then 6th back to it. Oh, that's funny.
Very quick moment of correction.
Hawks... Oh, were you gonna?
No, I was just gonna be like, hey, don't show our strats. It's not something that you see happen in like T1 very often, but yeah.
Yeah. Also, fun fact. I know my good friends Lynx and Casey and Jazzman, all of them, and CDAPS will enjoy Hawks' name, Hawks der Reese. One of the best zombie maps probably in all of Black Ops. That's a fun little reference there. But again, the only player that I've actually casted on the GLOWUP roster is Hawks, and I think when he was on Ultralight, he was kind of the more flex support role. Played a lot of smoke. The attacker that comes to mind is Capital as well, which is still left up. And MONEYBALL, you know, when you have kind of like 4 different entries on the team, it's kind of weird swapping around the roles, but it is going to be what I thought. It's going to be Louise and Fish on the duo entry, Gomez and Kino on the hard breach on more of the flexing and support roles, and Milano on the flank watch, just like he was on the slats. So it definitely makes sense. I know there was a lot of speculation, especially from me, because I mean, pretty much everyone on MONEYBALL is like an entry or a flex frag, except for, I think, historically Gomez. Well, looking at it now, it definitely does make a lot of sense.
I think when you were talking about it earlier, before the cast started, you were like, yeah, so everyone here is like a bona fide Ashman or someone who goes for kills, and then there's Gomez who does that but can also flex, and I'm just like, someone's got to get relegated to support, and with an Ace off the board, now there's not an opportunity to just bring another entry with the ability to destroy hard walls, because that's what Ace is. Ace isn't even really a support player, especially in the way that he's currently played, even with the Selma nerf, so someone had to get forced onto hard breach, and at this point it looks as though it's Gomez. Here come the flashes. Remember, this will be something that we won't see for very often, especially after the next patch hits for Neon Dawn, so look at this utility burn and remember that it is not the end of how Siege will be played competitively.
And of course the Goyo shield's going down. One of them next to the E-Box mirror window. The E-Box mirror window being very common, but all you gotta do as the attackers is just open the E-Box hatch and shoot the mirror window, and there you go. It's the control all the way into the boiler room. And speaking of first frags, it's Fish on to Gush, but there's 2 in the way of GLOWUP. Scissor with a double frag before he's traded off by Louise. We've evened up the man count after that flurry. Back to 3-on-3, though. HP advantage ever so slightly in GLOWUP's favor, and the positionally as well. They still hold on to elbow. Gomez trying to punch through, but Hawks is tucked safely behind that shield with 2 gas canisters in his pocket as well. Milano trying to flash it out as Luis is just now inside of supply, making sure no one can peek from freezer, but here's the swing. Down goes the smoke, but no ET kills! Luis, what are you doing? The poor trigger discipline will result in the death of Gomez as Rovi trades him out. That's a good push from Milano to catch the reloading Mira. And we're in a 1v1. Milano against Kiz, setting up the air jabs to make sure the Jaeger can't easily flank back into the bomb site, but the Jaeger does not necessarily have to move out to counter the plant. In fact, he will position himself back in laundry by the box wall. Milano does have the diffuser, and he does have a lot of time. He can pretty sufficiently bait out this plant, but Kiz is going to let it go down. Milano now in the advantage, but here's the swing from the Jaeger. The pre-fire finds him, and Kiz will clutch out the 1v1. GLOWUP will take their first round.
So, one quick swing kills the smoke, another quick swing kills your own teammate from elbow. All of a sudden, GLOWUP have got their first round off the backs of a Moneyball mistake. I don't think even though both teams are probably at this stage still trying to feel one another out, and neither one of them really have that much of standing in CCS as of right now. This is when you really have the chance to make a name for yourself. I still kind of want to call GLOWUP the underdogs to a certain extent, because there are definitely some more perhaps known names on Moneyball side of things. You've got Kino, who's currently in Challenge League, Milano, who did play in Canadian CL for all of 2 matches before Slats decided they needed to forfeit the rest of their season. And there is talent there, especially recently, that's played within the T2 scene, but then you can argue how much of T2 is just an extension of T3 with higher stakes. So because there isn't really anybody on GLOWUP that fits that same description, it might be accurate to say Moneyball is the favorite, but I guess only time will tell.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that that line of thinking, you know, just because Moneyball are, at least to us, more well-known players, that kind of makes GLOWUP.
When you say to us, you're saying to people who have played in T3. Never mind. Sorry, I messed that up. I said Moneyball, and I thought you said GLOWUP, and I'm like, wait. Before we started this, I thought you said you didn't know that many people on GLOWUP.
No,
that's me messing up.
Moneyball, a little bit more notable, at least to me and Jacob, because of course, you know, Jacob and I casted Milano in Challenger League. We casted Kino in Challenger League. Luis. Again, this kind of dates me back in casting, but over a year ago when I first started casting, Luis was one of my very first players I casted back on Team Nobu. Actually, with Ocho, our observer, was a caster at the time. I casted this game with him. He was up against Nordic, Team Nobu against Nordic, who are now in CAPL. And Hypers was actually still playing on that team. He was subbing in. Hypers, the player on Livid. It was on Cafe. Both Ocho and I remember very distinctly. Round number 1, Luis aces on Jaeger. Round number 2, Luis clutches a 1v4 as Jaeger. He was one of the first players to ever blow my mind, and it looks like he's already having a pretty... he had an okay first round, and then, like, he got a great entry into the site, and he TK'd. And, you know, that little bit of extra manpower could have maybe salvaged the round, but hey, mistakes happen. Sometimes people screw up. So...
Looking at a double-pronged push as it's Kino plus Luis are trying to take from the attic side, and GLOWUP are looking to defend as well from the master bedroom side of the thing. So right now, Moneyball's attack appears to be 2-pronged. I'm looking for where there's one more player. I want to say it's Milano downstairs, who may be trying to push up from armory so we can help with the master and trophy push. And right now, Luis and his Maverick friend Kino have already obtained control of attic with no way to deny it, and the Goyo shield blows up right in front of Kino, and did the flames eat him, or did a bullet actually catch him on the back end? GLOWUP has no idea that there's a player down inside attic unless the one inside dorms can see him. He's trying to get one off the bomb chassis, and there's still 2 players inside a bedroom to take care of, and finally the Maverick will be finished off. So will Gomez, and now so will Fish. Goes with 2 kills across the map. Milano trying to make a difference across on his other side on the dorm's window. It's still up to Luis with attic control, and now Milano can make a rotate to big window with still plenty of time, but still 3 members of GLOWUP to contend with full HP.
As you can see from the little factoid, this is the first round today where your team has brought more than 1 hard breacher at a time. Interesting that the first team bringing double hard breach is kind of a pug stack. That's a little bit odd, but Luis will get taken out inside of attic, and now it's Milano after he takes some damage from upstairs on just 1 HP. The camera on the top of main will also spot him, so they know exactly where he's coming from, and Hawks has plenty of gas to deny this entryway for at least the next maybe 20-ish seconds, and if Milano's not careful, one puff of that gas will bring him down, but there's a player looking through the attic wall, just waiting to put a single bullet into the body of Milano to bring him down. Now tucking over on the right side of the attic, I believe, if I read the silhouette right. Yep, he'll dart by. Milano cannot connect with the shot. Yet again, another gas canister goes out. Now Hawks trying to go through the breach on the game's wall. C4 as well out, trying to find the kill is Scissor, but Milano will not take the bait. But still, the time is just bleeding away. At this point, it doesn't really matter what GLOWUP do. It'll finally be the gas canister as Milano breathes it in, and GLOWUP will take their second round in a row.
So we had a whole bunch of kills happen across the map, and I was trying to figure out where they came from. But just on this 1v1, I love how Milano has, what, 2 HP? And there's a C4 that goes out. Doesn't even scratch him. There's smoke canisters that don't kill him until the very last one. There's shotgun pellets flying around. There's all this stuff. Milano is on 2 HP, and he doesn't die until, like, 15 seconds left.
Built different. He's a survivor, that one.
Genuinely.
That was... I mean, they had such early presence in the attic, and then it disappeared as soon as it came. Great punchback from GLOWUP onto those players. Right at that point, you know, 2v3 and Luis and Milano are very separated. GLOWUP were just kind of swinging at that point, swinging into fights they knew they could take. And when it comes to gunfights in Siege, I mean, any good fragger will tell you, it's confidence. If you're swinging with your chest out, probably going to win the fight just by, you know, the way how you're more confident with your aim, just the way Peeker's advantage works as well. Typically, you know, if both players have perfect info on each other, the one doing the swinging is likely to come away with the fight anyway. And now GLOWUP will have to take a tertiary site now, and they'll opt for dining instead of meeting.
Well, welcome to Oregon, a map that in T2, at the very least, has still not really been swung towards the attacker side, with the exception of a couple of teams that really love going back to it. I think probably the better example of that is Windstorm in Canadian Challenge League. Really, really loved Oregon, and we're always finding ways to turn things around on the attacker side. But for the most part, it's the one that's always stuck to being a defender-sided map. Even as so many other maps within the comp pool have begun to see them stop being defender strongholds and start turning into way more attacker advantageous battlegrounds. We're seeing that a lot more with Villa. Coastline's always been that way. Consulate has always been that way. I'm trying to think of which one also. Oh, Cafe is also beginning to shift more towards the attacker side these days as well. It's not a perfect 50-50 stat, but it is beginning to lean more in that favor. Oregon's not one of them, so it's still somewhere that GLOWUP can bunker down, wait for people to enter their crosshairs, and just kind of stall for time, whereas MONEYBALL need to put a lot more effort in to make this happen. And Fish already taking a fight at the top side of bunks. He doesn't find the frag, and Gomez will be the one to find Kai's.
So, Kiz goes down on the top floor, nearly a hairy fight there for Fish, but Gomez on the big window was there for the pinch. Scissor also with a lot of damage done, but from below, Hawks watching the big window with the floor holes. They'll shotgun Gomez down for the even trade, and that is an extremely influential pick, way more so than just losing your Jaeger on the defense, because now, on a site especially like Dining and Kitchen, where it relies so much on the soft breach upstairs, now you don't have your main method of doing so, and Milano falling to Hawks as well is troublesome. Now they're down by a man. They're gonna have to try and open this meeting wall and get the plant in Kitchen, but with no vertical presence, and the anchor still holding firm pretty much wherever they please, this could be a very difficult prospect for MONEYBALL.
Are working on trying to get that meeting wall open, and they have, with no one on GLOWUP attempting to contest it through the lines made by the Maverick. Hawks, his third kill on top of the washing machine in Kitchen. And now MONEYBALL with only 2 players left. Fish on incredibly low HP after that fight upstairs, but Luis still trying to see if he can't do something with his HP advantage, but now that's already been siphoned as he's down below 50. Gush has an angle if he wants to swing on, but Luis looking for a fight, and he will just lose even more of his health in the process. So about a combined 50 HP now between both players, but Fish is making the most of it. Down goes Rovi, already obtaining kitchen control. One more in security. Can he find this final frag? Gush alone by himself trying to use the hole in meeting to his advantage. Here come the pings. Definitely sees him around the other side of the fridge. Sophia's not looking the right way. Fish needs to come back around and go for the plan if he has the time. But Gush, one more kill from the rotate, and GLOWUP take their 3rd round straight.
Wow, nearly an excellent clutch from the duo of Luis and Fish, the duo entry. nearly clawing that round back, but Gush was there at the end. Unfortunately, no intel at all for the attack, and full intel for Gush. He knew Louise wasn't looking his way, and because of both the pings, Fish was all the way in the back. He was trying to get the plant down, so good target acquisition from Gush as well, killing Louise and forcing Fish to come up and take the 1v1 with barely any HP. And when you're 1 HP, challenging the Vector from about 15 feet away, that fight ain't going your way just by the grace of the insane fire rate on the mini A10 Warthog that Goyo wields. So, great perfect site rotation so far from GLOWUP, as MONEYBALL have yet to crack any site. And now we're going back to Laundry, where, it was nearly a good push from MONEYBALL. Just based off the round history, I think this is probably MONEYBALL's best chance of taking a round. But still, MONEYBALL aren't going to be the only ones adapting.
Crow, do me a favor and regale me with your knowledge of roster moves in T3 for a second. When MONEYBALL qualified for CCS,
yes,
they've since made 2 additional changes, and I'm trying to remember which players swapped who out on that initial qualifying team. Because, at least on my side of things, if you don't play with the team that you qualified with, then maybe there's not necessarily a guarantee that they're going to do well, and I'm just curious about why they would want to go for a switch right after qualifying for the league.
They had swapped out Acid, who now plays for Wichita Oblivion, and Siberian for Gomez and Kino. So the qualifying roster was Fish, Milano, Louise, Acid, and Siberian.
Both of them are definitely known commodities. Gomez obviously having played not necessarily in competitive for a really long time, but it's still something he has a little bit of a new foray in. But Kino is also somebody who everyone should know and has way more experience in T2 or above T3 levels than anyone else probably in this lobby right now. So just still not really much excuse for MONEYBALL to have fallen off this hard, other than they just haven't had a whole bunch of time to prepare as a team, whereas I don't really know if GLOWUP has managed to stick together for longer than MONEYBALL has as a 5-stack, but that could be a determining factor.
Absolutely no clue.
The fact that you don't know is also worrying, by the way.
Yeah. I do know, though, that GLOWUP also have 2 new pickups. I think it's Rovi and Scissor. Don't quote me on that. As Hawks gets the first kill onto Gomez, goodbye to the hard breacher. I think it's Rovi and Scissor. Don't quote me on that. But they replaced TPA and Psycho. TPA being a long-standing T3 player, and Psycho and Hawks, in fact, being ex-teammates from Ultralight that Louise and Milano also played back in another league. Kino will also get a refrag as Gush goes down inside a pillar thanks to a nade. So good catch to the Goyo. Now we're back in an even 4v4, but a minute and a half remaining. A lot of utility being expended by MONEYBALL as well to clear everything on the defense, but it's too late for that Ash charge. The shield goes down, but Elbow is already reinforced. Hawks is down, but recovered, and Scissor, I think that was actually a one-tap onto the Nomad of Milano. So now man advantage reclaimed by GLOWUP, could potentially be another, but Louise is there on the cover for the Maverick as Scissor goes down. Hawks also very low HP. Here comes the swing from the Ash. He'll find the prone Hawks. Kino with another one, and this is the best chance MONEYBALL have had to win a round. It's Kiz stuck inside a freezer in a 1v3. Great pre-fire on the Fish. Can he find the planter? Kino's tucked in the corner. No chance for Kiz to deny this without killing Louise. Louise is holding firm inside a pillar, and the pre-fire won't find him. MONEYBALL will finally take their very first round.
Much faster on the bunker presence this time for MONEYBALL. The first time they went here, all the way back in round 1 when they were attempting to attack it, it was a lot slower, and they weren't really pressuring from anywhere else aside from bunker and back stairs. But this time, they take relatively the same approach. No one from freezer, no one from laundry. All they're looking for is E-box control, back stairs, and bunker side. And this time, they make a lot quicker work of both the hatch and every other player downstairs on GLOWUP's side attempting to contest. So a little bit better on the time management side of things. They adapted very quickly to what they did wrong the first time. The only issue is you're still in a bit of a hole, and it looks like MONEYBALL, or something I always like trying to determine about teams I haven't really seen before, is whether or not they're going to keep on going back to sites that they've lost, or if they'll just keep on working through a rotation and not going back to the same site twice.
They're already trying laundry again, so there's your answer. And with the exact same lineup, no less. So I wonder where the adjustment is going to come out. MONEYBALL have certainly adjusted. Fish is now on Ying. This is an operator that we see, depending on the team, on Laundry takes. It's mainly like I know Ablation are famous for running the Ying on the downstairs take. I don't know if any others come to mind, but what you usually do is you
the
like
one that you see most often, yeah.
Yeah, like you open the E-box hatch.
Backstairs, right?
Yeah, either backstairs or E-box hatch, and he just floods his utility down to take early control of pillar. Yeah. And then if he has any left, he uses it into supply. So I want to see how Fish plays with it, because Fish is an extremely aggressive player.
So why not stick him on the operator that just guarantees that you won't be able to see anything?
Yep.
And then just... It's almost like Ying is easy street for people who are really good fraggers anyway. Oh, very fast push. Here comes Louise. Plus help from Kino trying to push pressure onto backstairs, and already has been forced back out of it. But no, the Caden Harry Potter Sizz cleans up Louise. The fast push nets with almost nothing. Now you're down one of your primary fraggers within 30 seconds. A kill that doesn't have to come from a run out or a spawn peek. Instead, is Zofia trying to push straight down the staircase, and Cade's just got the better aim. Now Kino's left by himself upstairs. He'll still go for E-box hatch, but now backstairs pressure has been completely denied. Milano is not with Gomez, and Fish is also, at the moment, not going for that backstairs push that we were talking about. So already MONEYBALL need to find a way to adjust.
Yeah, and that's Zofia going down with a smoke shield, a Goyo, and a Jaeger all on the board. So MONEYBALL might sorely miss that utility later in the round if they cannot clear everything. Now the E-box hatch will go down thanks to the control from up top by Kino. Sizz, of course, lit up from that earlier engagement with Louise, likely going to be playing very passively now, as you can see him back off all the way to Laundry. A gas canister also already expended from Hawks to hold off into elbow. He is still behind the shield, though, and there are there actually are no flashes on Gomez, so if they want to take this guy out, they're going to have to burn something else, and it'll actually be the smokes on Fish. Try and make way for the Candela. The gas canister comes out. Here's the flashes. Where's the smoke? He's going to die. Great entry frag there by Fish, but Rovi and Kiz are there for refrags of their own. It's one death traded out for 3 as GLOWUP now lead in a 4-2 advantage.
Very quick push, there goes the frag, and there goes Kino's life in the process, and now we were putting so much pressure on Fish to do something. He peeks at the wrong moment, but the Goyo still can't find the kill. Finally, he will get knocked out from the guy from Attic. Is it Kais or Kiz? I keep saying it wrong. I'm going to...
It's Kiz.
It's Kiz. He's had this freezer position every time they played in Laundry, and this time, he doesn't have to worry about 1v3ing. It's a 3v1, and he finds the kill, and he's actually the first one to leave. 4 rounds in, and he's like, nope, I'm done. I don't need to be here anymore.
Are we gonna have a roost?
I assume so. Unless no one calls for it.
They're not calling it. Are they just gonna play out the 4? Oh, he's back! Let's go!
He definitely can get back in, but not with the time to pick an op. He's just,
still got 6th pick? Oh, he got rid of Mozzie? The luck on this guy.
Oh, he almost went for it. For a split second, he thought he was about to take it, but nope.
Back on a Kate. Okay.
We're back on the dorms for us as well. All right, we're heading upstairs one more time. This is the last time that GLOWUP have the opportunity to defend a bomb site and good lineup. You still could have made it work with Mozzie, but you needed somebody on breach denial. And even though I don't know if Kiz has played that last time that they were upstairs or not.
It's been Sizz every round.
It's been Sizz. Okay, so it's almost like it's a mandatory role change in this case, more than likely, because because he was playing the Jaeger before, and now Sizz is the one playing the Jaeger. So it's really just okay. Well, it sucks that I needed to restart or crash out or just DC for a minute. But now it's almost like here's hoping you can play the role as effectively as Sizz could, because he was the one doing it previously. Yeah.
So we'll see what this kind of little role swap does for him, if that really influences anything at all. Although Scissorp is top fragging on the Cade. So hey, maybe the 416 is when he needs to run the numbers up even more so. Maybe Kiz will be assisted with that 1.5 site. Well, MONEYBALL so far, their entries have been hit or miss, and their executes have been very shaky, and I'm not sure if that's due to lack of coordination or just GLOWUP swinging and winning. It seems to be the story of a lot of these rounds. Is GLOWUP just, I mean, they're either, you know, still in 5v5 or they're down a man, and they just swing, and they win. I mean, you know, if it's working, keep doing it.
Yeah, might as well. Let's see what they end up going for in this case. So that's 2 back on master side again for MONEYBALL, and I think same attic pressure. I'm looking at most of this, and it seems to be the similar push that we saw last time GLOWUP went for a Dorm's defense all the way back in round number 2. So, you know, with the drone, shield in the same place, a lot of this is looking incredibly similar for both teams, but the main difference is that GLOWUP found a lot of MONEYBALL frags really quickly while they were defending Dorms and Masters, so MONEYBALL will need to have a different approach. This time the Goyo shield gets taken down before it explodes right in Kino's face, and he'll see if he can't try to pressure the Goyo out of attic, which he has done successfully, but this time Sizz on the Jaeger, and he already nets himself 1 frag, and he find another one. Kino takes 50 damage off already, and another team kill. This is already something we're seeing be prevalent in this matchup. There goes Sizz. Maestro said, all right, you've already had your fun. Let me get the rest of those frags.
Yeah. It's like, sit down, man. You've done your work. Take a break.
Stop it. You weren't supposed to be playing Jaeger anyway.
It's like when the pitcher gets forcibly sat out by the coach in baseball because he's thrown too much. So he was like, all right, you know what? Your arm's getting tired. You know, take a breather. I'll make you take
for
a
the rest of
breather.
the series or something.
Wow, Kiz with a great shot through that open wall. Louise just punched, and the Zophia's head will get taken off. So a pretty steep price to pay for an open wall. Now GLOWUP will yet again retake the man count advantage. It's a 4v3 going into the last minute of the round, and still Kino is kind of stuck inside of attic. He's still got a shield to deal with, and he's got no nades of which to speak of, and because Louise is dead, he can't use any impacts to break it. Fish is also completely out of explosive utility. Really, the only person with utility or usable utility at this point is Gomez if he chooses to shoot his ex-Kairos anywhere. And that's a great shot by the smoke, as Hawks will actually push up off the shield by the bunk, and he'll take out Kino. From below, Fish trying to find something. He'll find Ravi. So down goes the Maestro. There's only 30 seconds left, and now Gomez is going to be going for this wall. No Electro Claw for Kiz to try and trick it, so it will be open, but here's Fish going for the white flank. He sees a hole from above. He'll start breaking the barbed wire, but that will choreograph his push now that the defenders have the sound cue. He and Gomez are very separated, really not much of a chance of a trade, but he'll just sprint right through the gas. But no, there's a trade. Hawks takes out Gomez right before Fish finds the kill, and Gush will find the last one. GLOWUP will take an extremely dominant 5-1 half on their defense.
Even with a team kill, they're doing a really, really good job. Our GLOWUP of stalling out MONEYBALL's attacks, mostly coming from the attic side. We had round 2 was 2 players in attic. It was a Zofia plus a Maverick, and this time it was just the Maverick going solo. He had to take the wall down, he moved back through, it was open for him, and then the Zofia rotates back up to, I almost want to say it was either Armory or Master, and decides to not help Kino out with his solo push through attic, and instead, I mean, he goes and clears the utility, he does everything, but then still gets picked off from, I believe it was the smoke all the way in dorms, and that's it. All of a sudden, you lose all of the pressure that you had on that side. Eventually, the Ash does rotate from that side and ends up still using attic, and because there's no one in attic or trophy or armory or anything else on that side of the map, it means that you have clear pressure to rush in with only 20 seconds left, but you still have so many people on bunks to contend with, and you haven't done anything to clear them out. From big window, from white stairs, nothing. So good job for GLOWUP on trying to stall for as much time as possible. And now MONEYBALL, they're on defense. It's where you can excel because it's Oregon, but that's still a pretty hefty deficit to climb yourself back out of.
Yeah, and as you can see by our little pop-up, we've had 4-2 halves, we've had 3-3 halves today, but this will be our first 5-1 half. Look at that! MONEYBALL and GLOWUP, they're pioneers. Well, maybe not so much MONEYBAll. I doubt they really care about that accolade at this point.
GLOWUP is already dominating in the Cyber Athlete Championship Series.
It's like
these guys are nutty.
It's like when you kill the same person in CSGO like 5 times. It's like, oh, you're dominating in the kill feed.
Slayer. Sorry, wrong game.
Kilimanjaro.
GLOWUP at this point is already, bar none, best team in CCS. Enjoy the title, boys. Hopefully you can keep it for longer than just this one map.
Yeah. And MONEYBALL, have a vigil. Where the hell is Fish? Is he downstairs? Is that him in tower? I think I see a silhouette in tower.
I want to say it's tower, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's him. So, Fish, that's just kind of what Fish does. I remember from Brazilians from the favelas, Fish is just a guy who goes around and does whatever Fish does. He either kills people real good or gets first picked. It doesn't do anything. That's kind of the story of Fish. But hey, We'll see what he can do on the Vigil. This round, GLOWUP already droning in, seeing that Laundry, for the most part, is not really all that firmly held. But speaking of the roam from Fish, he'll still persist upstairs, and he'll kill Kiz inside of Green Hall, and he'll impact into security and kill Gush. Like I said, either he's first pick or he gets some really influential frags. And he's already got 2 on the round. He's the first player in this lobby to hit double digits, but finally shut down. Scissor will end his reign of terror, finally trade one back for Law.
Still some corrections the GLOWUP need to make before they can go for their push, but with still 3 players up on near full HP, Sizz took a little bit off the trade with Fish, but here comes the attack a little faster now as the Hibana's already forced down Freezer, and you still have a couple default things to check off your list. E-Box Hatch, maybe control of backside, depending on where the rest of MONEYBALL are set up. But if you're already pushing down Freezer and you're taking this long on E-Box Hatch Rovi, my dude, might already be a little bit too late. Now he'll just watch for the backstairs presence, and Sizz has been taken down. I believe it's on a laundry push, and he'll get finished off by Milano, which means now Kino can deny inside E-Box all he wants. Milano with another frag. I want to say he pressured from laundry, or sorry, from Freezer all by himself, did Louise, and now it's just Rovi upstairs in a 1 versus 3. MONEYBALL have stalled for all the time in the world, and I don't really think there's much chance for Rovi to get back in this round.
40 seconds. 40 seconds left, and 0 seconds.
He dies at 37 seconds.
Yeah. I was gonna talk about the average number of seconds he had to kill everyone. At 39, it would have been 13 seconds each. But Milano.
You can do the calculations that quick.
Well, if it's 39 over 3, 30
As
divided by 3
somebody
is 10.
who left
9 over 3 is 3.
I left a high school of mathematicians and scientists to go do something different because I couldn't do math, so I'm always jealous of people who can do fast division.
Hey.
That's so cool, dude.
My Chinese mother taught me well. That's all I gotta say about that. But, Milano. His team was trailing, and Milano said, I'm done with the flank watch. I'm pushing his Mira. And it worked. Got 3 kills. He got 3. Fish got 2. Fish, great roam, by the way. He wasted not only half the round, but also got the duo entry. He got the Ash. He got the Zoph. That is not just the entry, but in this meta, a lot of utility. A lot of explosives. 4 explosives to be exact. 5 pieces of burn. So, at that point, GLOWUP really just had to try and make the best with what they got, and they didn't have much. Now MONEYBALL will go onto dorms after winning their first defense, and this is a little bit curious. So, not only do we have Rovi on Jackal, an operator we don't see too much, but he's Jackal with a Claymore. Even though they already have a Claymore, and Jackal can take smokes, arguably one of the best attacking utilities.
Probably just as a precautionary measure to watch against flanks, maybe watch against runouts if someone wants to go for big pressure. We'll see. I think it does mean that GLOWUP are estimating MONEYBALL might just decide to play more aggressive should they allow it to. Also,
yeah,
all right,
Fish,
fine. Production definitely doesn't want us to miss this one, so fine, we'll focus on it. That's not a Vigil, that's a Caveira.
I was gonna ignore it and then just laugh when he got first picked, because that's usually what happens to Cavs.
Yeah, I would have
production
is
is just
notice that.
Yeah, production is just kind of shoving it in our face at that point. What the hell? All right, Gomez is just not having a good time. Rovi just pre-fires the barricade and catches him on the rotate.
So now we'll see whether or not having Fish play the Cav is a sacrifice that they could have made for something else that maybe was either better on the roam or had more utility. Gomez probably, I think he wasn't attempting to trick anything, so both of those Electric Claws are still in play, but Fish now is trying to work on something across by Small Tower and Rovi with plus Hibana support with Gush at the top of Armory. Look at that, Trophy plus Master and Armory have already been completely claimed by GLOWUP. Louise does find Kiz, so we're already beginning to see an equalization, but Gush now also trying to make sure he doesn't get a Nitro chucked over from the top of Attic, which is what he's currently calling out. Ox attempting to drone more. Rovi plus Sizz. Everyone's already back upstairs. No one from MONEYBALL has rotated back yet, but Milano says he doesn't need any additional help and he'll take down Hawks by himself. Fish wants to make a rotate in. GLOWUP will find themselves getting pretty darn pinched, but somehow he already has it. He's literally down to 1 HP, but he still finds a kill on Gush. One more. Sizz finds Louise. Turns into a 3 versus 1. It's down to Rovi by himself. We asked why he picked the Jackal. It might just be because that's C7E. Fish already incredibly low HP. Milano does find himself in a better position, but he'll still reorient a little bit more of the wall. He exposes himself to Rovi, pushes back in, pulls out the secondary shotgun, and does get the down on Milano. So now the Cav pressure will need to come through, and it does.
Oh, he's right there.
Moving all the way up through Trophy into Attic. I want to say he did. Yup, he indeed did. The Cav play works out in the end. Thanks, production. We really needed to know.
And Kiz will DC again. So, we didn't get to laugh at the Cav getting first picked like she always does, because the Cav actually did something. Not only did she get an extremely influential flank on the main stairs, one, because Silent Step, you know, I mean, combined with the comms from the team, you're probably not going to be able to hear her. Plus, because she has a silenced pistol, she can take out claymores without that loud, like, you know when you shoot the claymore and it does that loud, like, bang?
Yep.
That doesn't happen with suppressed weapons. So he shoots the claymore, walks up, pistols down one player. I think it actually might have been Kiz. Then rotates all the way back down, downs the player in games through the floor, goes all the way back up white. Now it's a 1v2. Milano is being pressured by Rovi, and Fish says, all right, I'll activate my silent step, and I will flank all the way through games into the attic door, and catch Rovi in the back while he's busy downing and finishing off my teammate. Great play by Fish. That's what I mean. Again, he either gets first picked, or he does something really, really good to help his team in the round. And again, he was the first player to reach double digits, and he will just extend that lead. He's now on 12 kills in 8 rounds, and MONEYBALL, though, will be forced onto the tertiary bomb site. And I think this is really where we're going to see a true test of how well MONEYBALL can defend on Oregon, because if they lose here, GLOWUP are on map point.
We also saw Kiz DC again, and he came back in and was auto-switched to Dokkaebi. So, not something that he could use, and instead he will opt for flank watch in its wake. So, last time we had Kiz DC, I don't know if this is going to become more of a relevant story point as the night continues, but if it does, so far, GLOWUP are 1 for 1 on rounds where they've had someone DC, and then maybe, just maybe, needed to have somebody else switch roles because of that disconnection. Both times it's happened, by the way, have come as soon as the previous round was over, which GLOWUP are using to have plenty of time to basically make their attacking, or sorry, make their operator lineup more solidified, and that allows Kiz to get back in, 6 pick to whatever op he needs, and right now they're managing to make it work. Let's see if they can keep up a perfect streak of this kind of DC 6 pick strat. If you can call it strat.
Did Rovi scan any feet last round?
If he did, he was alone. No, he wasn't alone. He was in Master almost the whole time and
pretty
didn't
sure
leave it. If
I
anything,
saw, like, at the end of the round, he still had 3. I thought.
Well, now he only has 2.
But yeah, now he will use it. I don't know who he spotted, but they're downstairs now. But that's gonna effectively clear most of this roam. Now all you've got upstairs is one guy holding on kids' doors. It's Milano on the Malusi. The Milanolusi. I don't know, I tried. But he'll get the first kill on a Gush. Already a successful roam. Great job to Milano, as he's just still gonna hold up inside. He can't get killed from the wall either because he's behind the bunk, and Fish is there for a White Stairs flank to clean up 1 and 2. Fish with 2 kills and another as he snaps out of the head. Can he get the 4th? No, finally shut down by Hawks, but I mean, a 4 for 1 roam? I'd take that any day.
Fish is my new favorite. Already. I didn't know who I had to root for. It's now Fish. MONEYBALL is going to go the whole way just because Fish is doing this stuff. Hawks tries to find the last kill on the Jaeger. Jaeger is instead going to push him back up and will be the one to get the kill with the smoke. There were everyone's jumping out every window.
3 people pushed that Hibana at the end of the round. So, I mean, there's really not a lot to say about that round other than the fact that, so Milano inside of kids' dorms. Gush just kind of pushes with no drone.
There we go. I had to
Pentakill. He's on a 5-player kill streak. That is it's a killing spree. Or a bloodthirsty. Depending on what game you play. But yeah, so Milano is upstairs. In kids' dorms, chilling. As the Malusi, right? And then Gush, with no drone, face checks it and dies. And from there, everyone on the attack is like, oh no, there's a guy up here. What are we gonna do? And Fish comes from the back, comes from White Stairs, like, surprise, I'm here too. Kills 1, rotates games, kills another, flicks onto the dude in the attic, and just destroys that guy. and it's a 1v4. So, I mean, that's kind of all there was to that round, was just GLOWUP getting shut down.
I'm bad at doing math, but I think right now we are at, I think, about an 85% defender win rate on this map thus far. The only one that was an attacker win was MONEYBALL winning back in round 4 when we were on Laundry the second time that GLOWUP went to it.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 to 1?
8 to 1.
Yeah.
Which I'm calling 85% because I'm assuming that's more or less in the ballpark. You can do it. I believe in you. But while you mentally figure the calculation out, at this stage, it is enough proof that Oregon is just always going to favor in this direction anyway. So even if MONEYBALL, we're coming into their defensive half in a deficit, it's probably to be expected because remember, this was their own map pick. We're heading to Villa after this one, but that was GLOWUP's decision, and MONEYBALL said, we're going to go to Oregon. Even if we're down by a bit, we still have ways to make things work, and so far, they've definitely demonstrated that. First kill of the round is Louise, finding Sizz on the way upstairs as the sledge, surprisingly. Trying to figure out how he would have used that, but we'll leave that question unanswered, as I was about to say, if anything, he's doing it for more explosive utility and not for the sledgehammer based on the site that we're going to. It's already come back downstairs, and Kiz takes down Milano as the... Wait, Miro was playing on the window.
I don't know, but you were close. I think 8/9 rounds out to about like 88 or 89% as Gomez tries to re-engage, and he'll get his head ripped off by Kiz as well. Kiz will do a hell of a lot of damage to himself, but he won't catch Fish off guard. A great flick there for the Vigil, but he won't win the re-engagement, and Gush will find 2 after Kino fells Rovi. It's Louise in a 1 versus 2. Gush below half HP. Hawks now just around half, but as he just runs through the doorway right into the pre-fire of the Maverick, GLOWUP will take round number 10. They will put themselves onto map point, winning just the 2nd attack of the game.
This is deja vu on a pretty hilarious scale. It was 3-0 GLOWUP, and then they went back down to Laundry, and MONEYBALL won an attack round. And then we switched sides. 3 straight rounds for MONEYBALL on the defense. Then we go back to Laundry, and it's another attacking round win. So, if the script is to be believed, if it's the same for both teams, then MONEYBALL are going to win the next 2 rounds. I'm calling it right here.
Yeah, that I think too, MONEYBALL are going to learn their lesson as to not peak. That's just kind of it.
All of those kills, by the way, with the exception of the Jaeger killing the sledge all the way upstairs, as soon as Louise rotates back down, I think nearly almost every kill on that round happened around E-Box wall. Yes. Just around the 1 mirror window. It all happened in that 1 quadrant. Yeah.
Because Kiz kills Milano, then another player rotates in. Gomez tries to re-engage. Kiz kills him too. Fish gets doubled up upon. Fish gets a kill and he's traded off. Kino peeks the doorway, gets a kill, he's traded off. Then it's a 2v1 for Louise, and he tries to run into E-Box and gets killed by Hawks, who still plays bunker. So, yeah, literally everything going on either in E-Box or in the E-Box door. So, that was just, I don't know. MONEYBALL got really, really over-aggressive there when they really shouldn't have.
It's just one of those things, man.
Yeah, it was just one of those, hey, peek, 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 and it didn't work.
Didn't work, which has been the philosophy for MONEYBALL to win defense rounds thus far. Fish doesn't get that pentakill if he's not swinging like crazy and trying to peek and get all the frags upstairs 2 rounds ago when they were trying to defend meeting. So MONEYBALL already have a history thus far of working or being able to work with those swings, and it's paying dividends, but the only issue is now we still have 2 more rounds to get through, and that's just to force OT. That's not even to win the darn thing. Yeah. Fish is also still definitely putting in the work. He's 16-9. Someone else do the math and figure out his KDR. I'm just going to keep on giving you like pop quiz questions all night if it turns out there's these many stats to keep on flying around. But for the moment, Kiz with Gush already have forced down control inside pillar. They've got help. Actually, no, wait. That was... one more floor up. Never mind. I was looking at the wrong floor.
1.78? 1.78? That's my final answer. I'm locking it in. But yeah. So I mean, a lot of these rounds have just come down to, I'm gonna swing this, and I'm gonna win or lose. and that's just kind of how it's been. Hasn't been a lot of focus on utility, and when it has been to, you know, facilitate an aggressive swing. But GLOWUP have already opened the E-Box mirror window. Where is Fish? Fish is probably on an aggressive roam somewhere, I would imagine. I see
Watch
four
Fish
blue
Fish,
silhouettes
he's
on
already
site.
in T3. Just wait for it.
He's upstairs. I think he's like up the freezer stairs, like by security, as Milano will eat some damage from a frag grenade. Rovi is just kind of proning on the tower stairs, waiting for someone to come up, as Gomez will also eat some damage, thanks to the final nade of Hawks. Or so I believe it could have been the one from Scissor. But yeah, Fish is still playing on freezer. He'll open up the barricade, try and facilitate himself a flank. Of course, there is no Nomad, so he has no fear about any of the getting thrown back on his backside. He'll just have to, be wary of claymores, but otherwise he can just kind of make his way through. Scissor with the first kill of the round. Kino goes down. Kizzer with another one. On to Gomez, and it is a 5v3 with Milano very low. Fish also down on the floor. Gush with one. Milano with a trade, but he's on 1 HP and in a 1v4, and just like that, the map is over.
Pretty darn quick way to end it. We were just talking about whether or not Moneyball could win the next 2 rounds, because that's what happened in the first half, and they immediately proved me wrong.
Yep.
So the curse is still intact. Thank you very much for those of you who have been keeping up with the lore surrounding me saying anything on broadcast. Yeah, that's basically what just happened. GLOWUP, take the first map off of whiffing.
Yeah, probably. I would imagine a lot of whiffing.
Damn.
Multi kills, flanks,
Firing.
guns.
Walking, sprinting.
Definitely a lot of shift Wing, maybe a lot of crouch walking even. Crouch
And
alt
somewhere
walking.
in the midst of all this, Kiz will still disconnect twice.
Yeah, that was, I mean, hey, they made it work. They did the best with what they had. Of course, now we move on to the operator bans for Villa. Thatcher being the first ban, because
Duh, that's all the analysis we need. Move on. What could number 2
he's
possibly
Thatcher.
be?
Well,
I'm
it could be
anticipating a
Ace.
Glaz, perhaps a Twitch.
okay. It could be Ace, Hibana, Capital, Maverick, even
Sledge.
Nomad. It'll be Hibana. It'll be one of the hard breachers.
Did you even say Hibana in the middle of that, or did you miss Hibana?
I said Hibana after Ace.
Did you? Okay, fine.
I said Ace and Hibana because those are the ranged hard breachers. Those are the only ones people ever ban. But I guess it's easier to impact trick Ace than it is Hibana, because Hibana they can put like all the way down at foot level, but Ace you're never really gonna put it down at foot level because it has those 2 charges. Womai, again, I mean, analysis of the Womai ban. It's Womai. All right.
Standard. Moving on. I'm anticipating Tachanka in the middle of this.
Okay. Mira,
Possibly a Mute.
Goyo,
Wait,
Valkyrie,
Mute's actually too smart. That wouldn't make sense.
Malusi.
Here we go. Malusi.
An operator that I think Moneyball ran more than GLOWUP, I think? If I'm not mistaken. I don't
Milano
remember.
ran it pretty frequently.
Yeah, it was Milano and Gomez
and
ran it like
Gomez.
every round.
Yeah, but considering Milano had more rounds on defense than Gomez did, I think it's accurate to say Milano definitely played more of it.
A lot of that map
I
was,
guess.
it was the Louise is amazing. Fish is spectacular. Kino
Is he,
is
though?
fantastic. Milano is insane. Gomez.
Okay.
That's kind of like the sum up of Moneyball. that last match.
Oh man.
Gomez was not having a
You
good
saw
time.
the copy pasta get put in chat for the
Of
previous
course I
series,
did.
and you were just like, I had to find a way to worm it in somewhere. Just
I
man.
love reading the copy pasta.
Is this really what T3? As someone who's never casted T3 before, is this really what it's like?
Oh,
all
of
the
course.
time?
I've like ASMR read copy pastas. I've done ASMR casting. That's fun. I just turn the gain up on my mic and speak really calmly.
I hate it here.
Accents are fun. We did
Accents?
Carter and I were we were doing accents. We did French and German and Russian. It was great. I casted
We
like
find an
2 whole
excuse.
rounds in a stupid German accent. Listen, T3 is kind of like with, well, I guess CCS is being the exception because CCS is literally a little more formal, but like T2 and CCS are kind of like a little more formal, a little more proper casting. The other leagues.
Does that mean that we have to be formal? We're not working for Face It this time. Instead, we're working for.
Well, no, not as formal as
our
T2.
good friend Robert Walker. Would Robert have a problem with me talking in a Russian accent the entire rest of this map?
Maybe not, but I do know like the other T3 leagues is just kind of where I kind of screw around.
I've been told I can't talk in a Russian accent, but I really don't care for what production says.
In honor of my good friends Luis and Milano playing in this game, I will cast in a French accent.
Can we do a Brazilian Portuguese accent in honor of Kino?
Now, as the first death. I'm not gonna do it.
I hate it here already.
With the first kill.
Get
on
me
the
out.
Scissor. Killing the Ash and knocking out a lot of utility. And now, the refrag from Rovi onto Luis. And it's the Ash for the Jaeger. I mean, the Ash for the Jaeger, you know, name a better duo. But in this current meta, especially with how much utility you need on the attackers, the Ash is going to hurt a lot more. Especially with Rovi now going down, that's your hard breacher dead. And a double kill for Fish to start things off. He was having a heater on map 1, and it seems like he wants to continue that role onto Villa.
One more kill across the map.
Gomez.
There goes Kiz. There goes Gomez. Gomez continuing to not have a good series. He was pulling less than, I believe it was 3 kills. Maybe even less than 2. Perhaps it was just 1 on Oregon. I didn't do my stat on Gomez's kills beforehand. All I know is that it was bad, and it will continue to stay bad unless MONEYBALL can turn things around and Gomez can find his aim back. But a 3 versus 3. Fish has moved down to the crux of the staircase, and Kino by himself. I've seen this mirror setup before. There's a lot of people who've criticized it, even in like a T1 level, but gives you a whole bunch of space to look from the wall onto both rooms. The only issue is if it gets shot out beforehand, and it already has been by the sledge down below. So, at least for the moment, Mira will need to move back away from it as it has been opened on, I believe it was the bar side of things. There's a quick flick. There goes Kiz as Kino takes his head clean off with that Vector, and they're trying to find one more on the top of the staircase, and he won't find it as he might have even run out of bullets, and Hawks will clean him up. One more as Milano forces his way back, and now it falls to Hawks in a 1v1 versus Milano, and he'll get peeked by Fish. My bad, it was a 2 versus 1, all the way from the bomb chassis through the open mirror window. Even though it was the sledge who shot it out before, instead he'll get killed through it. Now MONEYBALL find themselves with a lead for the first time in the series.
Wow. Well, the first time they've had a lead, it's 1-0.
It's a lead.
That kind of speaks volumes to how Oregon went, if we're celebrating a 1-0
To use
lead.
a pretty common meme these days. Stop the count! They're already winning. Just stop it right now.
Also,
MONEYBALL has even the odds with a 1-0 victory on Villa. We are now heading to Consulate as our decider. Map production. Cut back to the webcams.
Have won this map tremendously by a wide margin. But Fish got a 3K. So the problem with Mira on Villa, for the most part, the reason why Mira is played a lot more on Oregon and Clubhouse and maps like that than Villa, because Villa nearly the entire floor upstairs is destructible. So pretty much anywhere you're gonna put a mirror window is gonna be able to be denied by the vertical. You know, Scissor, perfect example of that. Popping both of them. Eventually, you know, it did bite Scissor in the back. He who opened the mirror, you know, abandon all hope. Ye who enter here. Fish was able to find the kill through it. But and again, a big portion of why MONEYBALL won that round was Fish getting a 3K. So, it's a little bit worrying, I'm not gonna lie, because, I mean, if we take a look at the rounds that MONEYBALL actually won on Oregon, there was one where Kino planted, one where Milano got a 3K, and the other 2 were single-handedly, because of Fish. And that's not really something that you can 100% rely on. Like here, if Fish goes down early on this aggressive peek out the window, as he's got the Valcam ready to facilitate this aggressive push. Here's the round. If he dies, will they still have a chance in the round? He'll light up Scissor. He'll be able to get back in the window safely, but that is definitely a risk. I mean, he gets away. Scissor now very low on HP, so hey, it's a kill, or it's not a death, but there's Gush. Onto Louise downstairs, the Jaeger dead, and a first kill for the attack.
He almost very nearly gets another one through the wall. Only we can see the outlines, but he already had that one pretty well scouted with the sound cue. Fish will worm his way back upstairs and will probably stay there, as now he does find himself and his team down by 1 man. You know, Gomez, Milano, Fish everyone's still around the bomb site. The deep roam from Louise got nullified earlier, and it gives GLOWUP more opportunities to go for frags. There goes Gush to find Fish, even on the rotate back. Thatcher has been banned every map. It's very true. There's always been some sort of breach denial brought in on either side of the board, and it's only ever been, I believe, Kaid. It's never been a mute, never been a bandit, so I do like what the AUG presents and the ability to deny the walls from being breached from hard range. Here comes the quick swing in. Somehow the one with the SMG-11 doesn't win it. Roving takes Tino out of commission, and now it's all on Milano as Gomez gets taken down halfway across the map and falls on the Zofia. He's gonna storm up the stairs. No, never mind. It's all on the Goyo. I'm looking at the wrong operator. Milano's all by himself. He's got 2 kills, and he'll still be to get. Never mind. Cast for the round falls completely out of the wayside. I'm looking at a 1v4. And we're still on Zofia, and I'm getting all confused about which one. Never mind, I'll shut up.
Who's the one?
This is what T3 is doing to my brain. I don't know who to focus on anymore.
Listen, just focus on everyone. You gotta. It's like chess. You gotta look at the whole board.
I guess so. Especially considering how aggressive everybody is, you need to have eyes everywhere along the map. Theoretically, to cast T3 more appropriately, we need like 7 observers.
Yeah, there's a lot of chess parallels you can draw with Siege, like looking at the whole board, figuring out what trades are going to be worth it between your pieces, the power of the pieces, cutting off the board and holding power positions.
That kind of trade economy, that works anywhere. Though, I mean, there's a whole bunch of other games that do refer to some sort of economy, but for Siege, it's most assuredly an economy of utility and an economy for trades. If you're talking about your utility, it's a matter of whether you can expend what you have, either as a secondary gadget or your primary gadget, to work on any number of functions. But it also does come down to whether or not you can lose a player on a flank, or maybe a solo roam or solo roam clear. If you're confident enough in losing a player to something, you better have somebody in a position to refrag. And I think thus far for either team, that's not been a problem. There's very typically been players in positions for refrags and trades. And when there's not, it's turned into a 1 versus 5 or a 1 versus 4, and everything just like completely falls apart. But on both sides of the board, at least for the moment, to go back to the chess reference, they are currently playing their pieces appropriately.
Yeah. Speaking of chess pieces, what kind of chess pieces would you equate to the roles in Siege?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I think flank watch is your bishop.
I definitely, yeah. Your entry is definitely your queen.
Oh, speaking of entry, Louise, 5 kings, and Fish, both with 1 kill each. This is what we needed from these 2 players. They will deliver a great start to this round for MONEYBALL. Now they lead 5-3, and I mean, Louise and Fish didn't even take a single point of damage. Now Fish does get another kill onto Gush. Rovi finally with a refrag for his team, but it might be too little too late, as now they are down 4-2. And they still have to deal with this roamer from downstairs, and there's even a man still holding closet. Now the roamer downstairs will be dealt with. His caster's curse a little bit there, as Fish will fall to Rovi. We're still in a 2v3. I mean, okay. You're back in a 2v3. They do have a decent bit of utility. They've got nades. They've got hard breach. What the hell? All right, okay.
Is that you getting agitated, or is that you admiring the creativity that Rovi's using with those Selmas? He had all 3 of them in his back pocket to still use.
That was weird. I don't know if I liked that.
Well, if they didn't have holes open before, if you're still playing bottom up and your sludge is the one who's supposed to make holes upstairs, gotta find some more creative way to do it. Only problem is now both Rovi and Hawks are stuck by themselves on landing. And they definitely have some chance for someone from MONEYBALL to go back around and flank. However, Gomez has been taken down, and that frag grenade around the side of the Goyo shield will still finish him off. Now a 2v2 is a much more likely scenario. Only problem is, GLOWUP players are still on landing by themselves, and MONEYBALL seem to be a little bit split up, so they might be able to use this to their advantage. But Gomez has opted to leave, and there's the wonderful Kobe from Hawks to go right around the side of the wall. Doesn't even go over it. It goes right into the hole and takes the mute down. He just stares at it.
What a on the East Coast.
Hey, it's only 10 o'clock for me.
Well,
mountain time, baby.
However long this cast goes, I will remain loud, even if my family goes to sleep. Just for all of you.
That's so cool, man.
I hope you're all happy. But well, we were talking about how we expect the rest of this map to go, and probably the exact same it's been.
It was a complete reversal of our conversation from earlier in the day where we were talking about who was going to win the thing, because we thought it was going to be Moneyball. There was a general expectation that just because of how much T2 experience these guys have, they were going to be able to pull something out of the bag, and turns out we were oh so hilariously wrong. But it's only been one map and change. There we go. Server's taking a hot second. There we go. But the fact that GLOWUP have been able to do this well thus far, it does speak to their team play. Obviously, the way in which you gauge team play is a little bit different in the scope of T3 versus T2. A lot of these teams did not have a whole bunch of experience prior to playing together in qualifiers. That's something that we've seen in multiple leagues, you know, all over North American T3. And it's just a testament to how quickly these guys sometimes have to get used to working with one another. Though, well, having 3 French Canadians on the lineup means that you'd hope everything is a little bit more well put together. And just because they already have a win on Oregon under their belt and they're up on a Villa attack, I think it's pretty safe to say that they're looking pretty good. Let's see if they can keep it going.
Yeah, right now it's a swinger be swung world, and now GLOWUP seem to be on the Predator side of that. As, I mean, so far, they've just been in the aggressive fights, winning them. It's exciting, I know. It's Kino, we're gonna spawn peek. Rovi goes down, that's Ace dead. That's a great first frag, and another one. As Fish will find Hawks downstairs, looking outside the toilet window. Okay, that's one of those moments where if you're Hawks, you're just like, why are you there, man? What are you doing? A jump out from Fish as there's someone literally right behind him, and he doesn't notice because the IQ is hiding behind the pillar, so he'll get caught. I think he heard the IQ get on the drone and tried for the aggressive play, but Kiz just hit himself that well.
He was outside for a second too long, and that detection timer, which is still at 2 seconds, and we'll be switching over to 1 second with the release of Neon Dawn, caught him out, and he wasn't able to get back in the building or finish the fight. Kiz will be the one to take things up. So now it's up to Kiz and Sizz to work their way up the staircase if need be. It might just be a Sizz solo push, as Sizz is still trying to support from below and still has Kino to deal with downstairs. It'll be the IQ versus the Vigil, and we'll see if this fight can help GLOWUP equalize the man count, or if Moneyball will still retain the advantage, but it looks like Vigil will fall back off instead. Gives a lot more map control up to the IQ. The only issue is, does she want to utilize it, and she'll instead use the time to drone. Sizz has made his way up to the top of his own staircase, and Gush has study control by himself, but Sizz is still trying to equalize across the map, with still plenty of time left. They can make something happen, but they'll need to move quickly.
Sizz is also, he's at about half HP, and with the guns on the defense, that's not the kind of HP disadvantage you want to be going into a gunfight with. Case in point. Kino gonna body shot Sizz down with that K1A for his second kill of the round. Now it's Kiz and Gush together in the 2v3. Thermite and an IQ. Thermite, maybe not the best weaponry, but the IQ's got the G8, which is, you know, probably has enough firepower for the both of them. But Kiz now also low as he tries to take the engagement against whatever player is inside of Vault. I would imagine is the Maestro, but over the bar, Kiz is there for his third. Can't find his fourth, but even more damage now onto the IQ. It's one bullet from either of the defending weapons will put this IQ down. Finally, he'll shoot the 90 cam, but diffuser control has been surrendered inside of the middle of study. And Jaeger is holding the aggressive angle, but the pre-fire finds his head. That's a great triple kill now for Kiz. He's got to find one more, but the Aldo will ruin his streak and shut him down. A great try there from the IQ, but Moneyball will still lock out round number 4 and tie us up at 2 apiece.
So 3K from the Vigil, 3K from the IQ, but Gomez managing to make something happen. We've been very, very quiet on Gomez thus far in this series because it's been a lot of underwhelming performances in KDs and sometimes being one of the first people to fall to frags. Not in this case. It's an early 5v3 man advantage within the first 30 seconds, and it's not something that GLOWUP can recover from. They did try, because when Moneyball understood they had the advantage, maybe they got a little bit too interested in going for those frags, or deciding that they can get aggressive because they have man count. It's one of those scenarios where you know you're up and decide that because you have more of a man buffer, you can do things like that. Moneyball almost lost it. GLOWUP very nearly made them pay for it in the end, and it was evidenced pretty clearly by the fact that Fish was downstairs and couldn't get back inside before the IQ frags him. So whether or not Moneyball wants to do that again, time will tell. But they do equalize on round count, and we head right back up to Trophy. If they end up winning this one alongside Aviator, then we might see a downstairs site played. But on Villa, to not head down to Kitchen has become... sorry, everyone heads down to Kitchen at some point. Usually as almost their secondary bomb site, but at least for this map, it seems like we're sticking to top floor and basic verticality rules of Siege.
Well, if they win Trophy, they'll have to go downstairs. So there's that. You know, maybe we'll see Dining on the very, very last round of their defense. Kino gonna pop open the barricade. Find spawn peek down by the garage. C4 spawn peek coming out from Fish does not net anything. Hawks and Sizz could potentially find themselves in the line of fire of this vigil as they'll let one run by. Seems to be aware of the second, but the aggressive peek does not find a soul. So Kino will rotate back upstairs, back off the basement, and likely just roam somewhere else.
Looking at the pressure, it's 3 people all upstairs. Kino's gonna follow Fish up, maybe to keep on pressure. It almost looks like if somebody on Moneyball was downstairs to start in the first 45 seconds, they've already made the call to bring everyone back to site. So less of a roam game, and everyone is hovering a little bit closer to home, as now GLOWUP will need to make sure that they have all of their angles washed at the same time, and make sure that they have people in place for trades if someone from Moneyball decides it's adequate to swing. They've got wardrobe control, and the rest of Master is about to be obtained. Roby is looking out and seeing that no one goes for a spawn peek or a rush outside of study. So it looks as though they do have all their angles covered, but now the aggression will need to make its presence more felt. Gush for 1 kill on the side of Astro, but at the moment it's just a matter of util burn. Fish again finds the first frag, going in for a second. He can't quite get it, but he manages to escape with his life. Instead, it'll be Louise trying to go back in for a cleanup and get taken down by the doorway. Fish now will go for another peek if it's advantageous for him to do so. He'll wait for the call. If someone else on Moneyball's got intel on anyone inside of Master, he'll go straight for it again.
Oh.
Instead, the swing. Instead, it's Rovi getting the kill, and all of a sudden, Fish on the back foot going, what the hell just happened?
Wow, okay, so losing the advantage is Moneyball and Kino now on barely any HP, though Gush and Rovi are worse for wear as well, but Gomez cleaned up by the G8 of Kiz, and there goes Milano! It's Kino on 1 HP in a 1v4, he'll find one, he'll find Hawks, but he's traded off by Rovi! A huge round for the ace! And GLOWUP, with round number 5, they will retake their lead 3-2 as they just push through Master.
Rovi's got no business swinging on Valkyrie and winning that fight. Straight up. That's something that Valkyrie... Fish is watching that for a good 20 seconds waiting for the call, and instead gets swung before he's even able to ADS or fire a single bullet. That's just how this kind of meta has swung, at least in CCS.
We're gonna need a rehost.
Definitely having a rehost call this time. When we had disconnects before, I believe it was Kiz. Every time Kiz DC'd, it was at the very end of a round, so he was always able to come back in time for a 6th pick, but this time he DC'd in the middle of the pick phase, so we will be on rehost number 3 when we try to get him back into the lobby. Apologies for that, but hopefully it's not nearly as long as the other ones were.
Fortunately, that round was not that interesting. There's not a lot to go into. Oh, are we back already? Oh, let's go!
That was quick.
We don't have to stall. I was gonna say, like.
Oh wait.
Oh wait,
did rejoin in time.
We didn't even need to rehost. Let's go.
Okay. Oh, hold on.
Hats
hold on.
off to
Problem.
Gush.
Look at the op that he's playing.
Nook.
He's
hey,
Nook.
You know, maybe he'll be able to do. You know, he's got nades. I mean, that's kind of it. But maybe he'll go for a sneaky flank. I mean, there's a lot of intel on the side of Moneyball. They've got a Mozzie who could potentially get those drones and use them for his own. You got Kino on the Valkyrie. And of course, you know, you go quiet too. So maybe he'll do, you know, the players do like the 2-hit on the bottom of the barricade so they can crouch through it. Which I love doing that, by the way. That's always fun. They can just kind of sneak his way in. Maybe go up, well, where do we see a lot of Nooks pushing? Probably like Astro Stairs. Or if everyone's pushing from main, like he'll go up, if everyone's pushing from Master, like he'll go up main stairs or something.
Yeah, that sounds
like
right.
how I mean, obviously, well, not necessarily obviously, but you know, probably, most likely, that was just a random pick for being AFK. So I'm curious to see how he adapts to it.
Yeah, and also side note, I also get really happy every time I see Kino playing the Valkyrie and going for a crazy roam someplace.
Oh,
it just gives me happy fuzzy feelings of Challenger League, and we'll see if that
right,
ends up being the case. And we were talking about the Nook. I know you're up by a round, but even still, you don't want it to be a complete waste of an operator usage, and instead he just does nothing, dives with both frags in his pocket. At the very least, Fish will be the next one to follow his sledge, and the upside down repel will take him out. So now Fish, someone who's been going around, roaming, getting a whole bunch of those frags, switches over to Jaeger and dies on the entry from GLOWUP. So Kino can still make something happen. That's a double kill with a nitro cell from down below. We were just talking about how this man utilizes Valkyrie, and it pays dividends. 2 massive frags, and now Sizz just kind of throwing caution to the wind. He'll move straight into bathroom. He does have Rovi with him as collateral, but he's not about to swing anything. In fact, Rovi is downstairs trying to hunt down this Valkyrie, which leaves Sizz basically all alone inside bathroom with no additional help. The flank from around the opposite side. Kino can't drop the hatch fast enough, and Sizz pays with his life. One more swing through Astro. If he can find one behind the black box, he has a chance to, but again, it's a matter of who swings first. Is it the Zof? Instead, Rovi will still find Gomez. The swing, there he goes, around side black boxes. Luis, all by himself, is now Rovi in a 1 versus 2 situation without the diffuser. All hope is not lost, but it definitely doesn't look good.
Yeah, I mean, Rovi's clutched up before. He's got a minute to work with, which is a pretty decent amount of time in a 1v2, as far as that's concerned, but he's got to find Luis and Milano. Try and pre-fire up towards the Astro desk, but not land really any shots on Luis at all. He sees the open wall above in the single panel overlooking the hallway, and as he turns his back, that's siege timing for you. He'll take a bullet in his backside. Now looking over towards Master, he saw the shoulder of Milano on the Mozzie. Missed the pre-fire. Opt to re-engage, but the Mozzie's playing it very safe. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, he's also getting spam pinged by the sound cues, and Luis will finish things off. MONEYBALL will take round 6. We end the half even, 3-3.
2 things of note. First, I know that having an operator like Nock is not someone you want in your attacking lineup unless you've got a strat to use her, and it's very clear that that was not the intentional pick. That's just what Gush loaded back into the lobby with. But still, that's the first op kill, not on your team even, in the entirety of the round. So it's unfortunate that the way in which they chose to utilize her was just trying to get a pick rather than maybe attempting to flank from the opposite side of the map, come back up Astro stairs, maybe work all the way into 90 and attack from landing. There wasn't any of that. It was just using Nook to get a pick almost recklessly without really having a plan. So there's still a way that you can turn that around, but GLOWUP decided not to do that. The other thing to point out is that because Villa's begun to swing a little bit more towards the attacking side of things, the stat for attacking or defending wins has begun to even up in recent memory. So the fact that MONEYBALL are able to even things out of 3-3 is great, but I still have confidence that GLOWUP know what they're doing because this is indeed their map choice.
Yeah. Hey, maybe it'll be one of those series where each team takes their opponent's map pick. We've certainly seen those a hell of a lot. But again,
It's true.
Only time will tell. There's still at minimum 4 more rounds to go. It's about.
We didn't see that in Ape, Aerial, or Rise. I think both teams won their map pick pretty handedly without much leeway.
Well, no, the Cafe was closer. Ape won Cafe 7-4. Aerial Arise won Consulate 7-2, and they won the Decider 7-3.
Yeah, okay. Well, I guess an 11-round game in the first one for Cafe was still...
That's like
still
decently
about
close.
as close to... Yeah, it's not as close to 7-5. It's like 7-5 was like, oh, it really came down to the wire. It was last-second drama, and it couldn't force OT. They were so close. And then you're just 1 round off of that, so...
Yeah, 7-4 is like... It's like the Thursday of scorelines.
I like that. I'm gonna use that. I'm stealing it. Thank you.
Okay, alright.
7-4 is the Thursday of Siege score lines. Alright, thank you. I will give you credit every time I use it.
You're just at the cusp of, like, it wasn't dominant, like a 7-2 or a 7-3,
Right.
but it wasn't down to the wire like a 7-5. It's like right smack in the middle. So it's like a Thursday, right? It's not
And
Friday.
at the end of the day, you still won. Just like every time you win when you wake up and have to endure another day of
And you're like,
suffering
'cause
on
it's
this
not-
planet we call Earth.
Because it's Thursday, and you have to be like, tomorrow's Friday. You know, we're almost there. Louise is gonna get the first kill. Rovi goes down. A big player so far after the rehost, and a big player, I mean, throughout the first map too. Rovi has been an influential support. He will no longer be on the board. Now, Goyo's utility is up, but that's a C4 lost. I mean, every C4 that you take away from the defense is just a little bit of plant denial that you no longer have to worry about. You know, a couple seconds that you can get closer down to the wire when it comes down to your push, as Kino tries to do his best Eska impression with the nades from below, but instead he'll keep that last one in his pocket as Fish find the head of Kiz. Now it's a 2-man lead for Moneyball.
Utilizing the Ella in this case for Hawks, still a bit of a curious decision, but at least it's another deployable shield that you can still use in the absence of a Wamai, so we'll see if it ends up working for them. But right now, Moneyball sit in the driver's seat, and Gush has he's perched on the ledge like an owl waiting to strike from the top, but, you know, again, still making things happen across the opposite side of the map, and now Hawks with the shotgun can't do anything. Fish just pushes in, and Kino is the one to grab the final kill. It's a flawless round for Moneyball. Just as we were talking about Villa being more of an attacker-favored swing, Kino proves me exactly right.
Yep, Kino says, I don't want this round to go on anymore.
I'm
And
done.
it ended.
Bedtime.
Good job, Kino. And now, for the second time in this whole series, Moneyball have a lead again. By 1 round.
Stop the count.
Can they hold on to it? We're waiting for Pennsylvania and Nevada at this rate. So, you know, we may be here till 3 a.m.
We might. If we also have to wait on Georgia, then we'll be here even longer.
Yeah, we'll just kind of call it at that point.
Yeah, at that point,
Or
probably.
we'll go off of speculation. We'll call it.
Actually,
early, go to
we
bed.
might be here all the way until Alaska finishes doing it with their
Oh, not Alaska. They gotta
counting votes by Signal Fire and Peregrine Falcon and voter pigeon, mailing pigeons to get votes in from all the different parts of Alaska.
Count all the votes from the Bears.
True, Bears are legal
Kodak
U.S.
votes
citizens
count.
in Alaska. Yep.
Kodak votes are valid. Don't disenfranchise them.
Every beat up 1990s truck that you see in Alaska also counts. They get to vote.
Is that an Alaska stereotype?
I've always seen like Alaskans have older trucks that just seem like they're really beat to hell.
Huh. We'll have to ask Mila. Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
there's
the
also an abandoned bus. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that. Now. Thank you, Keg, for popping in our ears. No,
Anyway,
he
if this
may
ends
not
up
be,
somehow going to OT match point on map 3, that will be because we were here waiting for Alaska to count their final vote. That's the point. That's the joke.
Yes. Election joke, haha. While still being apolitical, that's the secret.
There you
High
go.
five.
I just self-5 to make that joke work. Anyway, Kush is the first one to find a kill, takes down Fish. Fish usually being one of the ones to find one of the first 2 kills of every round. Instead, will be the one to fall. I think your analogy, or sorry, your reference of him either being the entry frag or getting the entry frag still continues to hold true based on what has been shown in this series thus far. Luis has got all of statue control to himself. Milano on the 90 window. He's got Kiz right next to him. The Nitro Cell goes out, comes in, no damage done to the ace. Instead, actually, no, let's take him down by a pretty considerable margin, and Rovi will grab Kino as well, but Luis manages to frag back up, coming up red stairs, and he has Gomez with support as they also move through Trophy and Statue, and it all falls on them, plus Milano just hanging out on the window, seeing if someone wants to peek him again, but there is a shield in the way on Classical Hallway. Instead, he's not making the push himself. He's just waiting for someone to come to him. Gomez, instead, though, takes control of Classical plus 90. They already have Vault open, but the quick peek all the way from the opposite side of Aviator takes down Gomez. And another kill as Milano is dumpstered on the window. I want to see this angle. Hold on a minute. Right from...
He just pre-fired him.
He just pre-fired it. His head was in the right
Kiz
spot.
just
Good job.
slammed him. Wow. All right. That was
Yes.
3-3. And then in the blink of an eye, it wasn't anymore. Kiz destroying two of them. Rovi with his own kill on the Legion, and I mean, I thought that was going to be a pretty close round, and then GLOWUP said no, and now we're back to even. Teams just unable to shake each other, as you know, we might be looking at 2-3-3 halves at this rate, as now Gomez will pick up Jackal. We do counter out the very aggressive roam play that both of these teams throughout, you know, the aggressive roam that has permeated through the last two maps. To use a word that Keg hammered into us during the rehost.
He did.
And Kino has now gotten 8 kills in 4 rounds, right?
8 kills. So yeah, we had the rehouse after
Yeah,
round
because the
3,
rehost was
so
after round. No, I thought it was after round
5 rounds.
4.
No, we had the problem with.
Oh wait, that was
it
the
was-
fake rehost.
2-1 and then 3-0. Yeah, that rehouse wasn't real.
Yeah, so Kino's
So
gotten 8 kills in 5 rounds. That's still pretty good. Nearly a 2.0 KPR, not quite. But,
I still find it interesting that the way in which North American CCS has transpired thus far is making me wonder if it's about to be the series of underdogs. With CCS
Maybe.
always
That
being
would be
the
cool.
place where new stars are born, this is where you really, really get to you showcase your own skill set, and it's been really, really good testing ground for players to showcase what they're made of and maybe even get picked up for more profitable or even higher tier rosters at some point in the future. That's been the case with a whole bunch of guys in CCS before. It's just, does that come this season at the cost of teams we expected to win not being able to pull things off? We saw Ape lose 2-1 to Aerial Arise earlier, and we definitely favored Moneyball coming into this one, but GLOWUP are on Villa defense on their own map pick, and I'm wondering if it's about to swing that way.
Oh.
Rovi sees the head of the Zovan, can't get it! Wait,
Luis
what?
just didn't move? Luis just didn't care. Oh my god.
All those
Good.
shots whiffed, he had the angle and everything.
Now they're hunting down the player downstairs. They've even got the Jackal pings. They see that he's inside a pantry. Louise will kill Sizz, but that's not the tracked player. Tracked player is, in fact, I believe... I don't know. Rovi will get the kill on a Gomez, so the Jackal shut down, so no more of those pings. So, an even entry so far for both teams. You lose Mozzie, so you lose the C4 and the ability to take away, or to control the drones you've captured. All you really lose on Gomez is the footprint scanning, not a lot of direct utility, so it's not the biggest pick in the world, as they're now trying to open the master wall. They will successfully ace open once. Milano now throwing his last one as well. Kino, the man with the diffuser now, as what the hell? Legion's just gonna swing out, and he was actually able to find the Ash before he died because Fish was so low. And now it's Milano and Kino, as Kino gets another kill, and a third, as he finds the head of Kiz through the wall. It's Hawks in a 1v2. The advantage that the Legion had gained by jumping out has evaporated in front of his eyes. He'll play close on Bathroom, he'll find one, and now we're in an even 1v1. It's Kino versus Hawks, both SAS operators now the last alive. Kino has control of the diffuser. He's got a decent amount of time. He's got 43 seconds left. Seems like he's aware of the bathroom position now from Hawks, as he'll just start to go for the plant, but Hawks is now on the move. Reload the SMG-11 for that extra bit of range. He'll sprint through, but Kino's not going to stick it. He'll hop off at the very last moment, until the clock will not work against Hawks. He's got the shotgun now, a nade to try and bait Hawks over towards this hole, and the shotgun close won't find its mark. Kino with a massive 4K to save the round for Moneyball, and they will yet again retake their lead.
Just when we thought Legion had given them a really good advantage off the trade, it didn't pan out, which was a really, really good play, by the way. I was really hoping they'd be able to take that play and use it for the rest of the round and get them a win. Not to be in this case. And it's very, very true. Several operators having 100% pick rates, mostly because Ash Jaeger and Zofia have always been very pivotal operators in the middle of this meta, so that's just kind of to be expected. We are still seeing what the end of this meta looks like, though, because of what Neon Dawn's about to come through and change. So we might see a little bit of a variance in how these lineups look at some point, but not now. Usually, I mean, of anything, you don't ban the Jaeger, you never ban the Ash. We've seen Zof bans in North America, in both Challenger League and in the North American division a couple of times. But of those three, that's like the only one that you really ever see these days that gets the ban, and everything else, if you're not playing it, you're kind of trolling.
we've seen, well, yeah, we've seen like a couple Jaeger bans ever. I think out of the three,
But, like,
of
how
Ash, Zoph,
recently?
Jaeger, out of the three of Ash, Zoph, Jaeger, Zoph is definitely the most common.
Yep.
Jaeger definitely the least common. Ash kind of in the middle. There's certain teams where you
Ash
just
almost seems like it's a target ban specifically
Yeah,
against
it's
one player
always
who
a
plays it.
target
That's it. Yeah.
like remember reciprocity. People would always target ban Ash against Nyx.
Yeah, and I want to say Oxygen banned Ash against TSM to stop Merc from playing it, and that was
I
actually in
think so,
stage
something
2.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kino, now with 12 kills in 6 rounds.
Yep.
Yep, that's an easy 2-point, man.
That
I
man's
was
skill
gonna
count
ask
has
you.
skyrocketed.
I was gonna ask you, like, hey, if he's got 8 kills in 5 rounds, what's his KPR?
I'm not the math guy. That's your
That's
job.
an easy one. 'Cause
Oh.
it's 5, and 5 goes into 1 by an even decimal, non-repeating. It's 1.6.
Welcome back to class with Crow. We'll have to go a little bit more deeper into that explanation later. Only thing is, Louise gets down, then gets taken out of commission by Sizz, who's rocking the Roni on Mozzie. So laundry control now has been not completely surrendered, but he's still gonna try to pressure, and instead he'll get banged right from the soft wall, and Kino will follow up with his own kill on Hawks. So any man advantage now has to swing back again, but it'll be Gush to find the equalizer as we remain at a 3 versus 3 with the next couple of seconds. Kiz doesn't have any pressure. Roby's back on site. Fish needed to make a rotate. I believe everyone from GLOWUP has migrated back towards the bomb site as opposed to trying to work downstairs as soon as the Mozzie was killed. I think everyone needed to move into position to stop the execute from MONEYBALL, because right now, you already have a pretty bad history of being able to work when a man count is in your favor, so just stick to the bomb site and we'll wait and see what MONEYBALL does here.
Indeed, especially with Gush on low HP. Having to fight the V308, the R4C, and the AK-12? Not, I mean, you got the 416, but the body shot battle, you're sure to lose. It's downstairs, Fish trying to do some vertical play with his breaching rounds. Pretty much the only utility that you're going to be using to do such on the attack, because, I mean, Lion's not going to do it, and you're not going to... I mean, well, I guess it's not out of the realm of possibility. When Rovi did it, he just chucked his ace charges at the ceiling to get some kind of vertical holes, but I don't think MONEYBALL are going to do that, because that was just weird. But Gomez will find the player behind the Astro desk, and it's over. Okay.
He grabs Astro desk, he swings back around, finds one coming in through the connector, and Milano grabs the one on statue door. All right.
Okay,
That's it.
That was a very similar situation to earlier this map when it was a 3v3, and then MONEYBALL all died, and I guess MONEYBALL got the revenge as it was a 3v3, and then Gomez walks in, and everyone on GLOWUP dies. And now, believe it or not, we are 1 round away from MONEYBALL taking their opponent's map pick by the exact same scoreline that their map was ripped away from them.
Ah, the parallels. Look at us trying to find any connection so that the superstitious among us in the viewership can be like, ooh, I wonder if it was meant to be.
So now, Jacob.
Yes,
So
sir.
when you're doing 8 over 5.
Oh, yeah, we need to go through the
How
the
many
explanation.
times does 5 go into 8?
Once.
Right? So, all right. So you take away 5. Now, what are you left with?
3.
Now, what's 3 over 5?
3/5. The fraction.
Of like, what,
No.
what's the decimal?
0.6.
Exactly. So 8/5 is 1.6. You just add them together. And that's how you break down decimals in your head. Thanks for coming to class, everybody.
I can now hear the sound of the bell ringing like I heard back in middle school, and I'm already having PTSD, so thank you so much for the math lesson.
You're welcome. I love math.
I hate it here.
I had to go through my entire calculus course, nearly all of it by hand, because I still don't know how to use a TI-84 calculator. So mental math.
What?
Being able to use... Yeah, I don't know how to use it.
That's
I don't know
literally a
how to use a
required skill for
TI-84.
every American child in high school. And
So,
what?
Listen, mental math, being able to do quick mental math, like quick mental like derivatives and
I mean,
integrals and
that's
stuff.
cool, but come on.
Dude, I'm going to school for computer engineering, but I just cannot figure that thing out, man. As MONEYBALL have been the only team in this series so far to win 2 rounds in a row. Wait, that's not true. Wait, what did I read that right? MONEYBALL haven't been the first team to win 2 rounds in a row. Rounds 2 and 3. You mean this map? Rounds
the
2 and
map,
3.
not in the series.
Rounds
I'm
2 and
confused as
3
well.
were won back-to-back by GLOWUP on Villa. Yeah, rounds 2 and 3 this map were won by GLOWUP in a row. So CCS just lied to me, and now Kino is gonna get the first kill on the Sizz. Down goes the Bandit. Sizz having a banger of map 1, 12 and 8, but unfortunately he's had a bit of a fall off. And now with the opening pick, and now another opening pick as Gomez finds Gush. MONEYBALL are looking to close this map out.
Look at how the push is coming in from the attacking squad. The entirety of the team is almost moving as one big amoeba in unison, and it's about to work out as Gomez just storms back in. He's got the kills that he requires, and now it's a 1 versus 5. Technically a 1 versus 4. He'll move right in, can't find one. He actually will, but at the end of the day, MONEYBALL storming into the site from study to the top of the stage.
Moved in one big group.
They just went. I'm just like, yeah.
It's like a chain of, hey, I got your refrag. I got your refrag. I got your refrag. They just piled on in. And I guess, you know, the unstoppable force was too much for the defense to handle. Kino going 15 and 5. 7-7-4, whatever. It's still a palindrome. That's all I care about. But MONEYBALL will get the first ban as GLOWUP has opted to start on the attack. In fact, MONEYBALL will be starting on the defense post in regulation and in overtime. So whether or not this becomes an either attacker-sided or defender-sided matchup, if we go to OT, those sides could decide how it goes. Nomad will be the first ban. That makes a lot of sense. A lot of this map is played from the outside, and if you're a defender, rotates are your best friend. Jump outs being facilitated by, let's say, an operator like a Valkyrie. Those are also your best friend, and the biggest opponent against that will be the Nomad. And the Thatcher, of course, being banned also just default for literally every map in this game.
I was about to say, we didn't see Thatcher come out as the first ban in this map, but we did on the previous 2, so I was about to be like, are we going to see a Thatcher ban at all? And yeah, that ends up happening. Also, Valk was incredibly influential when it was played on Villa. It was banned on Oregon, and now it's been banned here, but that's also just standard fare for Consulate in the first place, and GLOWUP have realized that if you allow Kino or Fish to play the Valk, it's only going to end in constant tears. So there's a trend that you can follow now for MONEYBALL loving to play that. And Malusi yet again. So here we go. Again, everything here incredibly standard. Nothing really stands out. It's pretty normal for Consulate in its own right. And yeah, welcome to map 3.
Yep. A lot of times we'll see, you know, the Nomad ban facilitating the aggression, and then the Valkyrie ban kind of disabling a little bit of that aggression, just because, as I said, a lot of this map, as far as attacks are concerned, are played from the outside, such as garage, such as console if you're going for, such as upstairs if you're going for a console take, such as middle floor if you're going for a main lobby take. You know, you can take just so much control and play from outside without even needing to enter the building. And the biggest way that the defenders can try and counter that is by chucking Valk cams outside, gathering intel, and going for aggressive window peeks and jump outs and what have you. So, no Nomad to stop them from doing so, but no Valkyrie for easy info. So every time you peek a window or do a run out, and you don't have exact info, you're going to be taking a big risk. And for MONEYBALL, it will be downstairs as their first sight, all the way in the basement inside of garage. And look at this. We have a Vigil and a Mozzie. Jacob, call me crazy, but I think those two might just be roaming.
You think?
Actually, that's why I said that.
I would say break out the whole SSG joke again. That we utterly beat to death in CL, but it's the wrong map for it.
There's no castle. Doesn't count.
Yeah,
it's not even SSG-esque. This is, and plus this is MONEYBALL. I mean, what do you think they're gonna do? Play for the time waste? No. It's Fish and Kino. They're gonna play for the kills.
They want those frags. They want to pad their stats. Remember, Tab Stats is covering all of the statistics for this matchup, and it is something that we actually haven't mentioned yet. Guys, by the way, I have to do a little bit of selling out at some point, but I do want to give it a moment because if Kino's got a nitro prep
the
on a window,
obligatory Jacob sellout.
Yeah, it'll happen in a second. Okay, it's
this is the gunner C4.
I'm waiting for the C4. Nothing's happening. All right, fine. It does mean that I can actually say it now. We did want to take a moment to thank our wonderful sponsor for CCS Season 5. It's Tab Stats. These boys have been very, very kind and giving us the ability to actually track everything as it happens over the course of a season. We've had other people do statistics previously, but to have a dedicated team on it does mean a lot. We are simulcasting this right now through 22tapstats.com, so if you haven't checked them out, you can do so without missing any of the CCS action. By the way, Luis with a double kill. Oh my god, it's 2 kills and he's still alive in piano.
Wow.
Great reaction, I know.
Not even a single point of HP being taken off him, as Kiz desperately looking for this refrag, as Gush will find Kino. Luis now moving bathroom himself, actually whiffs the pre-fire. Kiz slams him down. I can't believe Ash got away with that, but Fish now killing the only full HP member of the attack leaves Kiz and Gush definitely worse for wear. Not only are they very low HP, and you're now up against the Alda, the K1A, and, you know, if up close, you gotta deal with Gomez and the SMG-11, but you're now extremely susceptible to both the gas canisters, as well as the lasers from the evil eyes of Milano. So, a plant? Not really in the realm of possibility, especially with diffuser control sacrificed outside. Fish now holding the stairs will find Gush, and it's Kiz in a 1v3. Vigil lines now permeating across the drone's surface as Kiz will just stand there outside the doorway and try and take the fight, but he backs off just in time. And, there we go. Kiz tries to play a bit aggressive again, and Fish will confirm his 3K, 3 for him, 2 for Louise. Moneyball, their first round.
I'm really kicking myself for that ad placement. I'm sure what Louise was doing was insane, but I had to read a thing. And I was told to read the thing.
Creator
I'm
said,
sad.
if you ever want to see your family again, you'll read the thing.
He's actually sitting right next to me. Both of my hands are tied behind my back, and he's got a Beretta at my scalp right now. If I didn't do that ad read at that exact moment, I wouldn't be here anymore. I'm scared.
Wait, but Creator's only 19. How can he have a handgun license? Are you telling me? Are you telling me that it might be illegally acquired? Devin!
I can't believe you. Everyone right now is just peppering my comms, and I can't hear anything, but this bit has gone on for far too long.
Listen,
Moneyball.
whenever I'm casting T3, I always gotta teeter on the line.
I mean, a little
pushing
bit, yes.
the envelope.
I will say the difference from Challenger League to CCS, honestly, very refreshing. Not having to be super uptight or super serious about it all the time. Yeah, it feels like this is almost how casting is meant to be.
Listen, the most important thing, as long as chat is entertained, then we're doing our jobs. And speaking of, it's a bit of an unconventional lineup. You know, of course, you got Fish on the Vigil, Kino on the Mozzie, Louise on the Jaeger. That's normal. And then you have Rook and Frost. Frost.
Don't question the Frost.
I mean, okay, who's spawn peeking? Okay.
Okay, I do question that. I don't question the off pick, but I do not know why that's a thing.
Kiz also takes some damage from the main door spawn peek, and Kino will spawn peek too! And his will actually net a kill as Hawks goes down. That is a great weapon. Some good utility off the board with how much the defenders are roaming. The Jackal's footprint scanner might be sorely missed, but I guess we know why the Rook was chosen, so we could use that extra bit of zoom for the spawn peek. But there's Gush with the refrag, and Kino will pay the price for picking off Hawks. So now we're back to an even 4v4.
Oh, and suddenly we skip ahead by 10 seconds. All right, so we've advanced a little bit further. Still in a 4 versus 4. We are in the future. Maybe now we know whether Alaska finished its count or not. Louise finds a really good flick coming through projector. Sizz has no clue that he's inside of connector, and now we sit in a 4 versus 3, and his position has been given away because of the frag, and Kiz is about to move in and try to take him down, but he only does a sliver of HP damage, and instead he'll get for the kill on top of Yellow instead, but it still leaves Jaeger to deal with in connector. Here comes the swing, the pistol comes out, and he gets the kill, but the trade is there. Gomez at the top of Yellow will even things out yet again. Gush downstairs tries to find him, but Gomez will be forced way back down Yellow in order to compensate. Now it's Gush and Rovi. Now it's only Rovi as Milano does find him, so there we go. It's a Rook pick and a Frost, somewhat unconventional, even though Frost is seeing a bit of a higher pick rate these days because of the shotgun edition, but it'll still come down to Rovi. Has not found a kill yet in this match and now has to find 2 or a successful diffuser, plant, and denial of the counter diffuse. He has the ability to do it.
I was going to say, you also say Frost having a bit more pick rate, but at this point, one play is a raise in her pick rate.
It's still a raise in pick rate. Am I wrong?
I also just want to point out real quick, as Milano gets the final kill, I just want to point out real quick that yes, GLOWUP did lose the round, but the game sense and the wherewithal from Kiz upstairs to stop shooting at Louise, which was a freebie. I mean, Louise would have been a freebie if he kept firing, but the sense to stop firing at Louise and aim at long desk because Fish was there for the support, Kiz says, okay, either I go 1-for-1, I kill Louise and I get killed by the Vigil, or I stop firing at Louise, take the engagement for the Vigil, secure the 1v1, the 1-for-1, and maybe even kill the Jaeger too. I just wanted to point out that's some great decision making by Kiz, especially heat of the moment like that. Already firing at your target, and the call comes from your teammate, hey, Vigil's long desk, and he stops. Immediately changes his target acquisition. I just wanted to highlight, I thought that was really cool from Kiz. Of course, he did eventually get traded, but hey, he went 2-for-1, he got his kills. And it was really on Rovi and Gush. Unfortunately not being able to clutch out the 2v2, thanks to Milano, who got 2 kills as Frost. And now, it's 2 rounds in a row for Moneyball. Instead of Archives, they are going to opt to go upstairs. And now, in addition to the Frost, they are also taking an Oryx.
What am I witnessing?
Hug stack.
Apparently. This is just, not normal, but I guess your definition of normal does depend on whether you're more accustomed to playing or watching people in pub stacks, or if you're accustomed to watching FPL streams, or if you watch T2, or if you watch T1. Your definition of what is normal and expected will change all the time. Here comes the run out from Fish, trying to get someone on the drop down before there's even a repel. He'll take all the damage in the roll, and he'll get cleaned up by Kiz. The run out to get someone immediately out of spawn does nothing. No HP traded back, nothing dealt. He was going for the crazy pick in the hopes that somebody would be there, and it nets nothing. Moneyball still up by 2 rounds means they can probably, they feel a little bit more free to try something, but they're still going to be here for a while GLOWUP attempts to find an answer for this. Louise can't grab the frag. He's so close. Instead, he finally will because of the repel, and Hawks is in the wrong position for it. At the very least equalizes, it's just very strange positioning on the repel going up master. What?
I think at this point, Moneyball are just kind of having fun. They're just kind of doing whatever. Not really having much of a semblance and just kind of running out, taking the engagements, you know. Just having fun, having a grand old time. As now, Louise will sit inside of Bosco as Gomez shakes his head no. And there's the Oryx getting a pick. Rovi goes down, the Oryx, of course, playing below, because likely the play right now with him is, hey, he can use those hatches to try and retake upstairs. The pre-fire does not land for the Ash either. All that serves to do is give away his position as Kino lives with just 1 HP. Kiz has got to be kicking himself for that one, and now it's Gush and Scissor in a 2v4. Yes, Louise and Kino are just 1 HP. 1 bullet will put them down, likely just skipping the DVNO state and just killing them outright, but you still got to deal with Gomez, who is smoke, of course, and you still got to deal with Milano, who has a gun that does like 40 damage a shot, and sure, it's a slow fire rate, but it does hit like a truck. And now everyone on the defense has reconvened to the top floor, so no more roamers to deal with. And now Gush is finished off by Gomez, and it's Scissor stuck on the repel. He's got a 1v4 to work against, and never mind.
Nope, pretty darn quick. The thing that I don't like is that Moneyball went for a crazy run out that didn't have any chance of working, and GLOWUP still can't capitalize on having the early man advantage. That's a kill within the first 10 seconds, and Moneyball just instead hold firm and wait for GLOWUP to do something. They wait for the attacking presence and then decide it's worthwhile to roam around the map like crazy, which is the exact reason you bring an Oryx. It's the reason you bring a Vigil all the darn time. It's why you try to bring people who have fast fire rate weapons, or at the very least 3-speed capabilities, to create a whole bunch of that pressure. Though now we sit at 3-0, it's a perfect site rotation. Moneyball now only have 4 more rounds left, and then they come away with this series Louise, the genius. The alibi to alibi 6th pick. No one
Never
saw that
expected.
coming. What's he
Never
playing now? We're also
Still
seeing an
alibi.
absence of a vigil. Which is curious. Did Fish play last time they were on Garage? I think Fish was still actually playing Vigil. Now he's swapped for a Jaeger. But this time we do see the Oryx in place, so I think Kino's probably recognized, hey, that worked really well last time. Just destroy all the hatches, go crazy, and... Wait, it's not Louise. No, it's Kino. Never mind. I'm looking at the wrong thing, and all the
Nice.
names are blurring together. It is that late. For me in the mountains, it is almost midnight, so,
Yeah, it's 1:11 a.m. for me.
dear God.
And still, I'm sitting here talking.
Doing what we love.
You know, I always wondered why the symbol for alibi was an octopus. Like, is it a reference? Like, is it a reference to like the fact that you can the ink from the octopus is to dissuade attackers and like pretend like there's something fight when the
Using it like a
octopus just
distraction or a smoke
Yeah,
screen of
just-
some kind, yeah.
goes away? Or there's like the mimic octopus, which evades predators by disguising itself as other sea creatures.
You are just a repository of facts that we didn't know prior to now.
Yeah, Keg has a good point. It could be the tentacles, you know, because like Alibi has the 3 holograms you can send out, and they're like feelers because when the attackers shoot them, and plus the tentacles regrow, so there's no no harm in losing them either when you're trying to feel around for any info. There's a lot of facets that could go into the reference. Maestro being a Spartan helmet is I think a lot more obscure. Gomez does take a lot of damage to the floor. But there's still a top floor roam that GLOWUP have to worry about. There's in fact 3 people upstairs. Because MONEYBALL, at this point, are just swinging a swing. Now Gush and Fish will trade a lot of damage, and Gush nearly comes off worse for wear. He trades a lot of damage back onto Fish though to make up for it, but Louise is there for the cleanup duty. He'll fell 1. Sizz is there for the refrag onto Fish, the player who took the earlier engagement against Gush and did the initial damage. And that Ash charge, I think, is what dealt damage to Gomez and puts him on 1 HP. But that's Kino with a kill, the Oryx finding stock as Kiz goes down, and it's another one for Kino. He's looking for a third, and he'll be able to find it. The headshot on a Sizz, and it's all Rovy as everyone inside a piano dies to the Oryx. The yellow window gets open, distracts the ace just for a second, and it's enough for Kino's 4th as Rovy looks towards the window, says, no, surely he won't jump out. And then Kino does anyway. And he'll get the last kill, a 4K for the Oryx, and 4 in a row for MONEYBALL.
The curse of immediately as soon as you un-ADS from watching an angle, someone's there. Happens all the time, and it sucks. MONEYBALL find themselves up 4-0. That's a perfect completion of a site rotation, and then some as we head back to lobby, because it seems as though they are trying to save console office for last in the rotation. But even if they were to lose this round, there's still a pretty good chance of going back to lobby. MONEYBALL are looking to see if they can't close this half out at a perfect 6-0. There's still absolutely a chance of that. And maybe we're seeing that MONEYBALL are just that kind of consulate team. A map that typically likes to swing attacker sided, in this case is not doing anything of the sort, as GLOWUP don't really seem to have an answer for the roam strategy that MONEYBALL are employing. It's not as insane as what Rent Free did in Challenger League, because when they played, I believe it was in the 2nd week of CL, they were down. We were wondering whether or not they were going to win and move on to the finals, and then they bust out Consulate, and they're going everywhere. They're in tandem. They're, buddying up one person with another. They're always making their roams work, and their trades are impeccable. It's a similar situation with MONEYBALL, even though it's not nearly as, I suppose, strategized. It's not something that's really that nearly as thought out, but they're still using the entirety of a 3-floor map to their advantage and deciding to cause as much havoc as they can, because if you have a lot of members of the defense all split up from one another, and you're still at least relatively close to help out if an attacker gets, within your vicinity, you absolutely can still make things work out. And if Fish gets aggressive like he is, and Aquino keeps on finding these early kills, 20 seconds in, can he find one more? If this keeps on working out, MONEYBALL might be up 5-0 in just a minute.
Wow, Kino is just swinging with his chest out, and Rovy's downed. I don't know from where, but he's going to be finished off by Louise, and another engagement being taken, but Gush is there, and he's going to hit the bag just so that Kino knows he was bested. Alana's there with a quick trade as Hawks finds Fish. back on a 3v2. This is fairly even, as now Milano will whip out the brand spanking new shotgun on the Frost to make himself a rotate into Tellers, just to make his retreat into jungle a little bit safer. But there is no diffuser control right now for GLOWUP, as I believe it was dropped outside the main door. Hawks will go ahead and pick it up, but he and Sizz are very separated. Well, I'm not sure if the defenders have any intel on Scissorp's current location, as he's over towards benches. He's inside of Z, and he'll peek over towards the piano doorway and ascend up the yellow stairs. I'm not sure if there's any targets for him to find. The quick peek from the player over by circle stairs does not find anything. He and Louise will trade a little bit of damage, but Gomez finds the kill anyway. Louise upstairs dies to Scissor, but still in a 1v2. Yet another clutch situation for GLOWUP to work themselves out of. And, I don't know. Milano is fairly lit up. I don't think it's impossible. But with the way MONEYBALL have been playing, they're really going to have to just throw their lives away for Scissor to clutch this.
Milano wants to take the fight directly to the Zofia, and that's exactly what he's gonna do. The Frost pick has worked out, I think. Yep, every single round Frost has been brought thus far. This match, it has been met with a round win. So good job for Milano for making that work out. I don't even think we've seen someone get down on a Frost man or anything. I wonder if he's just picking it for the rotation utility and the weapon. Because you're right, 40 damage per shot absolutely does hit you like a bus. But it's not because of the gadgetry that she's being brought, because it hasn't been... It's down to no one thus far. It's a curious pick, even though, yes, it is being brought a little bit more because of the addition of the shotgun. It's not to say that her pick rate's about to shoot through the roof, but something's clearly working with that pick for Milano. Also, by the way, it's 5-0. MONEYBALL awake. They really woke up when we kind of GLOWUP to do the same right now.
They kind of did the reverse. As the night went on, they got more and more awake. Hey, maybe they just needed to be warmed up.
It takes one map sometimes. That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what happened. I remember Gunner tweeted before their CCS game, I can't find a warm-up scrim because someone decided to cancel to play Smite. Pain. So, yeah. You know, sometimes it just takes teams a little bit to warm up, but yet again, we're going to be seeing the Oryx, the Frost, and Legion and the Jaeger and the you know, fun fact about Legion, did you know goo, the goo poison was like a real thing in ancient China?
I didn't know where it was from, but I knew that it wasn't just like it was actually inspired by something.
It's part of my people's history. The way that the ancient Chinese used to do it is they used to take like a whole bunch of, it was a venom-based poison. And they would take a whole bunch of venomous animals like centipedes, scorpions, snakes, and stuff, and putting them in a small enclosed space and having them fight.
Fish.
Oh. And the philosophy was whoever was the winner, like after eating all the others, would have the most concentrated poison, and that's who they would extract the venom from and then shoot it.
Kino!
And Kino will get a spawn. Word. Well, not really a spawn peak, but an aggressive play out the window. Scissor goes down. Kino gets another one on his retreat, and he's just going to try and contest the drone as he nearly sprints right out the yellow door. Hawk says the Amaru will die to Fish as Louise finds the head of Rovi, and it's a 1v5. I just wanted to talk about ancient Chinese poison, man. And look at where we end up. Milano will find the final frag, and MONEYBALL will take a flawless round, and they put themselves on map and match point with a 6-0 flawless half. And, well, forgive me for saying so, but I don't know if GLOWUP are going to recover from this.
I said 2 words that whole round. Fish and Kino.
Yes.
I really do hate it here, man. I said 2 words. I said 2 words.
Since you were not casting, do you remember who the opening kill was? I know Kino got it. I don't remember who it was.
I just know Kino got it. Yeah, I
Crap.
Did, man. Not sure.
I think it was Kiz.
It wasn't Hawks. It might have been Rovi.
It wasn't Hawks. No, Rovi was towards the end. Maybe.
Anyway, it's match point. Why don't we remind everybody of the stakes real darn quick? This is the winners quarterfinals, which means that because of the format of our wonderful CCS bracket, means that it's not single elimination by any stretch of the imagination. What this basically means is if you win, you're heading to play, I believe, the winner of the previous match, which was Aerial Arise, in another winner's bracket match. Will bring teams one step closer towards making it to our grand finals in just a couple weeks' time. And if you lose, you're still not knocked out of contention. You just have to go through the lower bracket and cannot drop another series on your way towards that grand final. And it does mean that there will be one team that has a one-map disadvantage heading into said grand final because of the lower bracket, but it also means that there will be one team that has lost a series that will still go there. So if you lose to start with, it's not the end of the world, but it's still something to pay attention to. Rovi wants to jump out of his own, a little bit of a longer sight line, but still can't find anything. There's been so many different runouts that have gone towards that exact spot on gas station, and none of them have been met with any kills. Very fast frag as Sizz grabs Gomez all the way outside by the gate. Can he find one more? He doesn't have enough bullets to keep on contesting, but Louise keeps on peeking it. Kino has also been down on the outside and needs to get revived. See if Sizz can still find one more kill, but at the moment Kino has backed far enough away, and Louise is not keen himself to go for the pick, but it will be him to still lose his life, and Louise looking for anything that he can find right now to equalize things. GLOWUP needed to get aggressive, he needed to find an answer, and they're doing exactly that. Sizz, another frag. All of them are coming from the side of the Mozzie, but he'll finally get taken down. He can still get revived, but not before Fish pushes directly into main lobby. Just to find one more at the top of Spiral, but can't, and he'll still lose his life to the angle he stopped holding only a second prior. Now, it's Louise. So far outside the building, trying to solo drone, 4 kills to find.
Gomez is calling out his teammate's position. And Rovi will finish it up. GLOWUP finally take their first round. It was a long time coming, but thanks to Sizz just peeking over and over again and winning his fights, he got 3 kills out that main door. He was able to win out the round for his team. Fun fact, before that round happened, if we take Rovi, Hawk, Scissor, Gush, and Kizzer, their kill order was 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now it's ruined.
Yeah, they weren't doing that hot. So
No.
the fact that we were still able to say that about their kill count on round 6,
Yeah,
not
Kino,
great. Though,
Kino's on double digits too.
yeah. Also, we haven't had a rehost this map yet, have we? So if we go back and double check the kills for everyone on Moneyball, before we
had a rehost.
Before we see the scoreboard, quick, who do you think has the most kills? Is it Fish or is it Kino?
Kino, absolutely.
Kino?
Literally no doubt in my mind. Not a single shred of doubt. Yeah, Fish has got half.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah. Get out of here.
For a second,
wait.
I looked.
No, it's not ruined. Rovi, Hawks, Gush, Kiz, and Scissor are still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3,
Let's
4.
go.
It was different because Sizz was the one to get 4 frags that round.
Yeah, that was. It's a little bit. 10 and 4 for Kino, man. He's been
Indeed
eating up the last 2 maps, but I mean, now I kind of feel bad for Keg, because like, what is he supposed to ask in the interview?
Well, there's plenty to talk about from the previous 2 maps. If Moneyball wins, he can be like, hey, what happened with Oregon? And then when we go to Villa, I hate it.
Does that really see into the spawn?
I think it does, but it did it so late. I don't know if anyone's about to peek that side. Gomez does lose his life all the way across the map instead. Hawks is trying to apply, or just be upstairs in admin in case someone does something. Rovi vaults out. I guess he was trying to bait someone else out, and he does, but he's also the duck, so it doesn't affect him nearly as much. Go and stim himself back up. The double silent push moving into projector right now. They're trying to force the dock out. The swing comes in. It's the dock to find the final frag, but there is still a trade. That's why you send 2 people up the Visa stairs, and Fish grabs the kill, even if it does mean his teammate Kino doesn't have the ability to get any kills in the remainder of the round. Go for more of a drone game now. Moneyball need to take these a little bit more slowly, but they're still not droning. The intel game is not nearly as on point as it was previous. Now GLOWUP is trying to find a way to get a couple rounds back. Moneyball just needs 1, so even if it isn't this one, because it's a 4 vs 2, it does look pretty unlikely, but Fish trying to fight back, and still Gush to come right back up the staircase and turn it back into a 3-man advantage for GLOWUP, and I believe Milano's position has been revealed. So low, eventually gets downed. I don't believe, no, Sizz does find out pretty darn quick. He's putting the work in as GLOWUP continue their defensive half.
Sizz is, I guess Mozzie is just his op. he feels making him feel some type of way with the 1.5 times on the Roni. But
Yeah.
they've still got to take another 4 rounds to put us into OT. Try to make their 3-round streak on console. But if you're Moneyball, you know you're probably gonna be aware and be like, all right, we know what they're doing. Trying to do what we did to them, to us. We gotta not let that happen. We gotta play it slow. We gotta check all of our angles. As both teams have. Yeah, okay, all right. Thank you, CCS Stats. We know.
I had
It was a
no
flawless half, man.
idea. Incredible. Which,
Wow.
by the way, I think that actually does that fit into how all of these rounds have gone thus far. Oregon, obviously very favored towards the defense. There were only 3 rounds won on attack in the entirety of that map, but Villa
Was
definitely
attacker-sided.
Villa was more, yeah, that was a 3-3 half, and then
yeah.
Moneyball cleaned up more rounds on attack than they did on defense because it was
Yep.
Moneyball's map pick. They wanted defense last, so
That was a. It was a.
Or-
What do you call it? Oh yeah. No, never mind. I'm done.
what were we gonna say?
I was gonna say, yeah, that's a 7-4 split in favor of the attack. But it's just.
Nope, not
That's
quite.
It's just the score. That's just the score.
That's just the score. It's
That's
fine. I
just
mean,
the
it couldn't have been a 7-4 split in favor of the attack because if you win every attacking round and no defense rounds won, it would literally be an 8-7.
Yeah, but it was a 3-3 half and then a 4-1. So that's literally
Yeah.
just.
It is
7-4.
possible to have a map be finished with either 100% attacker or defender win rates.
Yep. I
but
really
it,
hope we
it
don't
literally
have
has to
that
go to
tonight.
max point OT. Yeah, I really don't want it to either. But let's just see if
Wait.
Moneyball have the stamina to do this.
Oh. Wow.
Someone get these guys off Mozzie. The Roni is eating up all of the heads of Moneyball through 3 straight rounds, and right now they don't have a response. The Rome game is taking place up top, down below, everywhere I believe except the bottom floor at the moment. And
Blackbeard.
Blackbeard has been brought, but now Moneyball are all clustering up. I believe the trade game is something that they need to pay more attention to, as is the drone game and the intel, which has also been severely lacking. Down goes Milano to Hawks. Yep, that was on a run out, but I couldn't be sure if it was because he was on the window repeller or if he was just running towards main. Regardless of how it happened, Moneyball have 3 players working towards admin. Roby's got the angle and breaks 1 shield, a little bit more HP taken off the board, but Roby now in a really bad spot. He's getting pressured all by himself, sitting inside break. He's by the refrigerator, and now he has to hide all the way back in the corner and hope that no one pushes him, but he does get pushed, and I believe maybe even wall-banged by Gomez, who finds another kill in quick succession. All of a sudden, a 3 versus 3, Moneyball have the ability to bring this back around.
Now, if we want to look at the massive amounts of utility on the side of Moneyball, we have a Blackbeard who no longer has utility, so never mind.
No shields. There we go.
I mean, if you still got the hard breach on Ace if you want to open up long wall. You still have smoke grenades, speaking of, which he will use to facilitate said breach on the long wall to flush out anyone playing in Bosco. Still got full utility on the Ash as well, if Luis chooses to use it, or if he chooses to just kind of, you know, no brain run in as Ash and try and get his picks. Now, Scissor is no longer on the 1.5 times Roni. He's now on the MX4 Storm, so I wonder if that's going to cripple him in the gunfights or not, because I think we can all consider the Roni to be a stronger weapon than that of Alibis. Diffuser also recovered by, well, no longer recovered as Luis falls. There's a trade, though, by the Blackbeard of Fish, though he does take a beating for the kill. Trying to position himself on Visa stairs and watch over towards Connector. He's got the, I don't know if that's probably a client-side corpse, so I don't think that's really blocking his vision. But as the 2 players try to make their way through, they will smoke off the angle from Scissor, and that'll try and let Fish get a plant down. Gomez has to cover as the ace. He sees the vigil, but he's able to get the kill. It's a triple kill and nearly the quad. He's down. It's a 1v1. Fish on barely any HP against the MX4 Storm of Scissor. He's only got to land 1 bullet onto this Blackbeard, and the gun of the Blackbeard is not a favorable one either. He finishes off Gomez. He's just dancing around this reinforcement, but he'll lose the fight. Fish with the finisher, and Moneyball with round number 9 as the ace of Gomez finds a triple kill to facilitate the plan.
Gotta find a way to stop the crazy run-out spawn peak game, and even if it didn't seem like it made that big of a deal, the Blackbeard shields create so much havoc, and all the bullets go there and not his head. He's the one to win it out at the end.